And welcome in to Friday Night Football in the Foothills. Placer season opener here. Casey Freelove alongside Dave Rosenthal as the Hillman will take on the Whitney Wildcats, who have just moved into the Sierra Foothill League. Placer coming off a 48-21 win last week against Pleasant Grove. And as we look out across Lefevre Stadium, welcome in everybody. The captains are taking the field to call it. Tonight's captains for the Hillman, number 3, Brad Bishop, number 21, Jorge Maldonado, number 5, Andrew Garza, and number 77, Colton McElroy. So the Hillman here looking to win yet another coin flip part and see if they can do what they do.
They'll probably defer if they win the coin flip. Worked out real well last week against Pleasant Grove. Scored last in the second quarter, scored coming out to the third, and that, in effect, was last week's ball game. But I've got a feeling this is going to be a different story. You've got a team that's entering that grinder called the Sierra Foothill League. They're joining Grant as the two new teams in that league with already established Folsom, Del Oro, Oak Ridge, Rockland, Grant, and now Whitney. Those 6 schools, powerhouses. Now this school, Whitney High, they're coming off a season in which they had a little bit of turmoil a year ago, but don't let that fool you. About the only advantage the Hillman may have tonight is the fact they've already got a game under their belt, whereas the Whitney Wildcats, this will be their first foray into the 2018 season.
Whitney has won the toss and deferred to the second half, so the Hillman will get the ball on offense here to get things going in just a few minutes. The huge American flag about to make its way onto the field for the national anthem here in just a moment. And then it's going to be game time. Thank you so much for being with us. If you're listening on 104.5 FM, AM 950, streaming at KAHI.com, or on the free KAHI radio app. The Placer Hillman tonight in their home green uniforms with gold numbers and the green and gold helmets with the P. Whitney is here in their maroon and Vegas gold numbers on white uniforms. And they are ready to get the anthem underway. Let's take ourselves a quick 2-3 minute break, and then we'll be back with game action as Placer takes on Whitney here from Lefevre Stadium. It's Friday Night Football in the Foothills. Casey and Dave with you on KAHI.
Jorge Maldonado.
The kick is going to be fielded by Maldonado. Takes it at the 10 up to the 20. He's got some room across the far side. There's a flag that comes in late before Jorge has ran out of bounds at the 41-yard line, but I have a feeling that's a hold and that's probably coming back.
It's either a hold or a push in the back, and it's thrown at the 28, so it's going to be either 10 yards back or 15 yards back from there to start.
So Michael Stuck and company on offense out here to start the game. Tonight's starters: Mike Stuck at quarterback, running back Marshall Chapman, fullback Hans Grossman. Number 3 is the wingback Brad Bishop, Cyrus O'Neill the receiver, Lewis Fudge. Well, we're just waiting for the refs here. They do have mics on the field tonight.
Holding, number 9, first down.
Okay, so the hold will bring it back. Let me finish running through the starters here. Lewis Fudge, the tight end. We'll also see action from running back Jesse Wiggum. The offensive line from left to right. Left tackle Blake Bachman. Guard Austin Mater. Kyle Christensen, the center. Colton McElroy, your right guard. And Joey Capra, the tackle. And we are ready to go here.
Looks like they're coming out in a 4-4.
Yeah, 4-4 shown by Whitney. Fake it to Grossman. And now it's going to be a delayed handoff to Marshall Chapman, who's able to chug out a few yards, take it up to the 26-yard line. So that will be a gain of 6 yards and a second down upcoming. That kickoff brought to you by Auburn Trophies and more. Thanks to owners Ken and Katie Osborne for sponsoring kickoffs here on Friday Night Football. They're located at 1221 Grass Valley Highway in the Fiddler's Green Plaza. Stuck with 2 backs behind. Going to hand it off to Grossman. Grossman grinding it out over left guard and able to pick up a Hillman first down, taking it to the 34-yard line, a gain of 8. First down, Placer. Now, Whitney has some large linebackers. Their line is probably not as big as the Hillman, but they've got some huge receivers who we'll talk about later when they get on offense.
And talking earlier to one of the coaches for the Whitney Wildcats, some of their backs are going to be pressed into playing some line tonight due to some injury situations on that squad.
First and 10 for the Hillman from their own 34-yard line. Ball on the far hash, stuck with a 5-step drop, making a 7-step drop, still looking downfield. He's got it to Cyrus O'Neal, complete for the first down, out to the 46-yard line. That's going to be, actually call it a gain of 11 to the 45, and a first down for the Hillman.
It's good to see Cyrus O'Neal get involved early on that one, in that last week he just got mugged. And for a kid coming over from soccer to try to play varsity football, I think that mugging was good for him a week ago, got him used to the rigors of this sport.
First and 10 from the 45, fake it to Bishop. Now coming back to the near side is Marshall Chapman, finds a little bit of wiggle room over right tackle, takes it into Wildcats territory. Tackled down at the 47-yard line, so a gain of 7 yards for Marshall, picking up right where he left off last week, a Sacramento Bee Prep Player of the Week nominee.
Yeah, or I should say based on that 14 carry, 163 yards and 2 touchdown performance. Lewis Fudge on that one, grabbing him around the shoulder pads and trying to tug him forward for a yard or 2.
Motion Bishop here out of the backfield. Now he's got some room to the far side, trying to set up his blocks. He does, and he's able to push his way forward for another Hillman first down, taking it down to the 44-yard line, a gain of 3 and a first down for the Hillman.
So the Hillman doing what the Hillman do, relying on that big offensive line, using a little misdirection, featuring the fullback, featuring the halfback, featuring the wingback, and mixing in a pass play occasionally as Michael Stuck comes in with the next play from Coach Montoya.
Austin Hollitz checks in at wide receiver tonight for the Hillman. Got a little bit of playing time last week. He's the single receiver to the near side. Once again, 2 backs behind Stuck, and now we've got a whistle blowing the play dead here.
It's probably an equipment situation.
Yeah, it looks like
maybe a little blood on the elbow. They're going to have to tape that up before they let him back in the game.
Yeah, so Garza is going to replace Hans Grossman. Grossman will get checked out by the trainers on the sidelines. They'll get him back out there soon, I'm sure. 2 backs behind Stuck. Here's the snap. Going to hand it off. This one going to Garza, and Garza able to find a bit of room over left tackle, taking it up to the 39-yard line. So a gain of 5 there for Andrew Garza.
So Garza with a nice 5-yard gain on that one. You got to love Andrew getting the ball early in this game.
Yeah, he had 5 carries for 30 yards last week.
And that was all in mop-up duty, so more or less. The game was pretty much over after the first drive of quarter number 3 with the Hillman up 48-7.
Ian House checks in now at wide receiver. Coach mixing it up as far as the receiver sets are concerned. Stuck under center, ready to go. It's going to be a fake handoff, and now give it to Chapman coming around the near side. Marshall with some room across the 40, inside the 35, and down to the 31-yard line. Nice chunk of 11 yards there for Marshall Chapman to pick up yet another Placer first down. I like that play part. We're going to see plenty of it.
Yeah, 24 yards already on 3 carries for Marshall, an 8-yard average. A little off of what he did a week ago, but hey, come on, 14 for 163. You don't do that every week unless you're Marshall Chapman.
Absolutely. I believe Matthew Clark was in on that tackle. Still getting our bearings with the Whitney defense. They didn't play a game last week, so we don't have stats, but we will get through that. Stuck now with a quick 3-step drop, looking for O'Neal. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls harmlessly to the turf. So it'll be second down and 10 for the Hillman. 8:53 left here in the first quarter of a scoreless game.
Yeah, he was going for Cyrus O'Neal on the out that time, and he stood up tall in the pocket, but somebody got an arm up taller and knocked that boy down.
So Ian Howes is going to remain in at receiver. O'Neal really impressed us last week with his 3 catches. He's very fast. Howes a bit more experienced, though. And now Chapman is going to motion out of the wing, and it's not going to go to Marshall. It's actually going to go straight ahead. And pushing his way forward back in the game is Hans Grossman, taking it down to the 28-yard line. A gain of 3 for Hans will bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they did that situation where the wing back goes in motion, does that quick motion. I think he was looking to maybe draw him off and get an easy 5 yards for a 3rd down and manageable rather than this 3rd and 8 that's coming up. It's a long 7, short 8.
So Hillman with their first 3rd and long of the evening. Stuck back under center, fake it to Grossman. Now give it on the delay to Marshall Chapman, who's got plenty of room. Cross the 20, 15, inside the 10. He steps out of bounds at the 8-yard line, I believe. Let's make sure where they mark it. I think it's a gain of 20, though. Nice hard run in there by Marshall Chapman.
Well, when you've got a 3rd and long, what do you go to? You go to the Marshall plan.
Absolutely.
And there it is. Nice run for Marshall that time. Came around the corner, put a stiff arm not once but twice, and was finally dragged out of bounds at that 8-yard line.
So Stuck and company in business here with the 1st and goal to go from the 8-yard line. Ball on the near hash. 8:17 left here. Placer looking to cash in on this opening drive. He's got Bishop and Grossman behind him. Handed off to Hans, and Hans pushes his way over the 5 and towards the goal line and into the end zone. Touchdown, Hillman. Hans Grossman drove and dragged 3 defenders with him into the end zone. Touchdown for Placer, up 6-0, and we've got a late flag following the touchdown.
Take it on the kickoff.
So a personal foul on standout defender Wyatt Arbaugh of Whitney. He's a player to watch here, but he was called for unnecessary roughness on Stuck, and they'll assess that on the kickoff. Zach Rohde in to attempt the kick. Kyle Christensen will have the snap, and Chandler Dakin handling the holding duties tonight, as he does every week when he's healthy. Good to see Chandler back. We spoke with him on the KAHI Afternoon News Thursday at 5:30 on our Thursdays on the Hill segment, which we have every week during the football season. Good snap. And Rohde's going to just creep it through over the crossbar. 7-zip. Placer with the lead. That touchdown brought to you by the Man Cave. 923 Lincoln Way in Auburn. Thanks to owner Christopher Kirshner for sponsoring Hillman touchdown. 8:11 left in the first quarter. Placer out to a 7-0 lead here on KAHI.
This is Chandler Dakin, class of 2019, defensive end, and you're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI.
Well,
9 plays, 84 yards in 4:49. Typical Hillman drive. They go out 7-0 case.
Nick Miller and Sergio Sanchez back deep for Whitney. And with the penalty assessed, Rohde's got to be feeling real good. He'll kick it off from inside Wildcats territory at the 45-yard line.
See if you can knock it through the uprights from here.
I would love that. Checking Whitney's kicker before the game. He's got a leg too. I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit later. But right now, Rohde's ready to go. And the kick is going to be fielded and then dropped by Sanchez. And Sanchez is going to pay for it as a bunch of Hillmen are there to meet him at the 10-yard line. Andrew Garza in on the tackle. Also joined on the play by Jacob Mason. Nice heavy hit. And Whitney will start this first drive of the game very deep in their own territory at the 10-yard line.
And line drive kick hit right between the numbers, dropped to the ground. By the time he picked it up, the pursuit was there. It was just an army of green right in front of him. And boy, did they put the whack on him when they knocked him to the turf.
Quarterback Robert Jones leads the Whitney offense. We'll also be seeing wide receiver Nick Miller, tight end Luke Berry, wide receiver Dom Spence, Jaden Love Williams as well. And we'll continue to set the starting line for you here on the other side of this play as Whitney is ready to go. A lot of spread tonight probably, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a lot of pistol action.
Yeah, pistol action to start here. 2 receivers to either side of the formation. Single back flank to the left.
And we've got a flag on the play already.
And we've got an early flag.
All right, let's see what he's going to call. Too many men on the field. I think
he's counting
got
them.
12 out there. So we're going to see. He's going to pick it up and wave it off. He just counted wrong.
No foul for legal substitution.
All right, so it was almost an illegal substitution, but apparently not.
So Sanchez is to the left of Jones. 2 receivers to either side of the formation. Now Sanchez moves to the right of Jones, and he'll take the handoff. Going over right tackle. Not much doing there, though. As the tackle...
Our guy came up with the football.
Is made by Bishop and LaGuana Scott. They did emerge from the pile, but it's going to be a gain of 3 yards out to the 13-yard line.
So Sergio Sanchez with his first carry of the night. He'll be the featured back out of that pistol. And they've got a bevy of receivers that have got some nice size to them. 6'2", 185, 190, and even a big tight end over here that's splitting out. And that's a huge young man right there at the 10-yard line.
Whitney moving from right to left. 3 receivers to the far side of the formation. It's going to be a fake handoff and not a good idea there by Jones.
Dakin. Chandler Dakin crashed in from his right linebacker spot, read that thing, let his man go, and just crushed the quarterback.
So they will say that he picked up nothing, yeah. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for Whitney, trailing 7-0 with 7 minutes left here in the first quarter of play. Same look as the last time. 3 receivers up top, single back to the left of the quarterback, Jones, who's barking out some signals, now looking to the sideline for instructions. He's in the pistol again.
Tried that hard count to draw him off.
And here's the snap, rolling to the far side, and completing the ball out to number 19, Chris Hernandez. And Hernandez is able to pick up a 1st down out to the 24-yard line. So a gain of roughly 14 on that one. And it'll be a 1st down for the Wildcats.
So he rolls to his right, he waits for the receiver to cut, and as soon as the receiver made the cut, the ball was in the air. Nice pitch and catch that time by the Whitney duo.
2 receivers on either side. Again, got Jones back there in the pistol with Sanchez next to him. And now it's going to be a handoff. And finding a little bit of room.
Look out.
Running out to daylight is Nick Miller to the 40, 50 into Hillman territory, 40, 30, and the 25-yard line before he is pushed out of bounds. So that's going to be a gain of 51 yards there, Part.
Yeah, he ripped into that hole, and there was just nobody there. Once he got into the second level, no linebackers, DBs were up, and there was just nothing there. A lot of wide open green, and the only thing that kept him from the end zone was some good angle pursuit by the Hillman defense.
So it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Hillman 24-yard line. Ball on the near hash, and he just found the one spot where there were no Hillman defenders and exploited it. Trips up top. Once again, in the gun is the quarterback, Robert Jones. Takes the snap, 3-step drop. Now he's going to throw it towards the end zone of the mystery man, number 10. And let's see if they call it a catch. No catch.
But she says no.
No catch. And again, we don't have a name for number 10, so we're going to call him the mystery man until we get one. But the wide receiver not able to pull it in, so 2nd down upcoming here for the Whitney Wildcats, trailing 7-0 with 6:08 left here in the first quarter. Okay, so number 10 is wide receiver Ian Simpson, and not able to hold on to that one. So 2nd down upcoming for the Wildcats, who break the huddle. Now with 2 receivers to either side, single back to the right of Jones. He's ready to go. Now the back will move to the left, and it's going to be a handoff to the running back going straight ahead. Not much doing there for number 24, Will Fisher. Fisher is able to pick up, I guess we'll call it a yard there for Fisher, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
So he gets a yard on that play, just kind of going off tackle, but the Hillmen were there to meet him, and here's another big 3rd down play for the Placer Hillman. I'd say Whitney's in 4th and go territory down there, although watching their kicker in pregame, he was having no problem hitting from 25, so where it stands now, they'd be probably snapping it at the 32. It'd be a 42-yard attempt. Not sure if they're going to let him go for one that deep, but again, knowing the Hillman, you have to score points, whether it's 3s or 7s. You don't want to get shut out on a drive.
So 3rd down, 3 receivers up top. They're going to throw it here now to the inside, and the catch is made by number 9, Nick Miller, but only able to take it down to the 25-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 4th down here. And he basically got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he got nothing on that one. Yeah, they tried that quick wide receiver bubble play that a lot of teams used to use back in the day. But in that situation, it was Brad Bishop coming on the blitz from the far side. It got a little pressure and made him get rid of the ball early.
So 5 minutes left here, and the Wildcats are going to go. Ball at the 25-yard line, 4th down and 8, 9 loosely here to go. 3 receivers up top. Here's the snap. Now the blitz is on. And Jones feels it out, throws it to the wide open receiver for the touchdown. Touchdown Wildcats. The ball goes to number 14, Jaden Love Williams. A gain of 25 yards and the touch to bring the Wildcats to within 7-6 here on their opening drive.
Well, they sold out on defense going for that blitz, but somebody didn't pick up Williams down the middle of the field, and there it was. 14-yard touchdown catch. Just a point away from evening this thing up.
We'll take a break here after the extra point. Then our producer, welcome in, Tariq Ansari, back at the station. Will get you caught up on some scores of note from around the region. Big one tonight between Folsom and Jesuit. Also down in the Bay Area, you've got Central Catholic taking on De La Salle. We'll keep you updated on everything. Enter the kicker, number 25, Zach Schreiner. The extra point is right down the middle, splitting the upright. So 4:54 left here in the first quarter. 7-7, Placer and Whitney all tied up. It's Friday Night Football in the Foothills. on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Casey and Dave with you every Friday night this fall as the 2017 Northern California Division IV AA CIF NorCal State champs are having their home opener. Nice big crowd here. The Gold Mine kids are ready to go, and we are ready to go as Schreiner's going to kick it off here. Back deep for the Hillman, and fielding the ball is going to be
Cyrus.
Oh, okay. We got Cyrus O'Neal, and a nice tackle made there by the Wildcats, number 19,
Got a
Chris
late
Hernandez,
flag,
and
too.
now a late flag following it. The ball was blown dead at the 22-yard line. We'll wait and see what the penalty is. Thankfully tonight we've got mics on the referees so we can give you all the calls here on the radio.
Yeah, not keen on the way he loaf or breaded that thing. That ball was swung way out as he was being spun to the ground. That's something you got to keep an eye on.
Ball, personal foul, late hit.
A late hit on the offense, on the return team?
Is that physically possible?
I believe it is. Must have been after the play was blown dead. Somebody popped.
All right, well, we didn't get a number, but this is going to back the Hillman up significantly as they get ready to start their second drive of the game. Game tied 7-7. Placer will have it 1st and 10 on the near hash, moving from left to right. So Hillman had a nice big 84-yard drive to start the game, and now they've got plenty of room in front of them to make something happen here. Here's the snap.
Guess who? The big man.
Hans Grossman back in there after being looked at by the trainers. Got himself close to first down
He's
yardage.
got it, too.
And I think they are going to give it to him out to the 21-yard line. So a gain of 10 for Grossman and a first down for the Hillman. By the way, that kickoff and all kickoffs brought to you by Auburn Trophies and More, 1221 Highway, Grass Valley Highway and the Fiddler Green Shopping Center. Check them out online at auburntrophies.com.
4 for 29 for Hans already on the young evening.
Stuck and company, ready to go. O'Neal in there as the single receiver up top. Breaking the huddle, getting out there crisp. 2 backs behind, fake it to the back. Now Stuck takes a 5-step drop and looking downfield, and that one is going to head nowhere, but maybe O'Neal was held on that because a flag comes in late. Perhaps that's why he wasn't in position to make the catch.
Yeah, he was wide open for a nanosecond there when Mike let go of the ball, but he think he got knocked off of his pattern somehow when the ball was in the air, and that's got to be pass interference. I don't think you can call it an...
Defense. Number 17. Result after enforcement attempt.
As Mike's kicking out. Got to get Mark Lieb down there to adjust that field, Mike.
So Dom Spence called for the penalty, and Placer will be the beneficiary as
And
the ball
get
is
another
now
first down.
moving out to the 34-yard line where they'll have it 1st and 10 in a tie game at 7 apiece, 4:20 left in the first quarter.
Let's go back to that Whitney drive. The key play on that drive was that 51-yard burst by Nick Miller that took them from their own 24 down inside to almost scoring territory.
Grossman behind, Stuck. Hand off to Bishop. Now the reverse coming to Marshall across the near side, out across the 40 and pushing his way to the 45-yard line is Marshall Chapman. That's going to be another Hillman first down. 11-yard gain for Marshall, running hard. And again, you see teams that run a spread, play against a spread, not accustomed to seeing the ball move so much behind the line of scrimmage.
Not only that, they don't really have the set for tackling. They use a lot of big defensive linemen to try to get the push on the pass game. Their linebackers have got to be in coverage, and their DBs have got to be quick. They're just not used to the size of this Hillman team.
Stuck handing it off to Chapman with Grossman out front to block. Big block by Hans Grossman to spring Marshall for 5 extra yards as he takes it into Wildcat territory, tackled down at the 41-yard line. So a gain of 14 and another first down for the Hillman. I love that block. It's got to feel good when you're Marshall. You're already a big, strong kid. Then you got a kid that's even bigger than you out front.
And he just eyeballs that linebacker or that DB coming up, and you know he's going to blow him up. And so you just kind of do a little bit of a hesitation and run right off that block. Perfect.
So Grossman behind, and now once again going to Marshall Chapman. Nice hit and tackle on the play made by number 8, Zach Chaffin, but not before Marshall is able to pick up 5 yards down to the 37.
Love the way
Wildcats.
that Marshall finished off that run. As he was going down, stretched the ball out, put the ball onto the ground, and that's where they marked it, not where his knee went.
3:35 left here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 5 for the Hillman. Ball on the near hash. 2 backs once again behind Stuck. Handed off to Grossman, going over center and pushing his way forward. Driving down to the 30-yard line. Gain of 7 for Grossman. Tackle made by Ryan Vigo. But again, it's tough to stop him, and it's going to be another Hillman first down.
Yeah, he introduced himself to Jacoby Carlson, the defensive lineman, and Jacoby ended up on his back. I guess you can credit him with a pancake on that. What did he get on that run?
7 on that one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, first down for the Hillman. Once again, ready to go with Chapman and Grossman behind. Fake it to Grossman. Now a delayed handoff to Bishop, who's got the room dancing in the middle. And Bradley taking it down to the 20-yard line. Another gain of 10 and another Placer first down.
Love the way Bishop got into the hole. Looked like he was for all the world going to the far side of the field. Put that foot down, shook the shoulders, and went back to the right side and picked up an additional 4 or 5 just on that move.
Got a tweet here that we're having some trouble with the online stream, so we do apologize for that. We'll work on that when we have a moment, but we're in the middle of calling a game here. 3:04 left. And here is the snap. Fake it to Grossman. Now give it to Chapman. Nice block by Mater there, but able to spring off the block and make the tackle. Once again is Ryan Vigo. That ball's going to go down to the 14-yard line and a gain of 5.
So another 5 yards for Chapman, but like you said, Vigo made a nice play. He got off of the block, shredded the block, and then went and wrapped Chapman up pretty well before Marshall could burst past him. Still another good drive by the Hillman, once again doing what they do, just controlling clock and forcing teams to try to figure which of those 4 or 5 different options on every snap they're going to cover. And here comes Hans off the field. That right arm looking a little dangly to me at this point.
Yeah, he's got some blood on his
now
left
it's
elbow,
the left
actually.
arm this time.
He's got a little blood there. They'll get that cleaned up, and he'll be fine.
And here comes our good buddy Andrew Garza into the game to take his spot. What a 180. You go 6'2", 220, and you bring Garza in, it's about half that size.
Second down and 5. Garza lined up behind Stuck, and now it's going to be a fake to Wiggum and give it to Brad Bishop. Moving over left tackle. Tackle made by Zach Chaffin. Bishop able to pick up 4 yards, though, down to the 9-yard line.
So that's going to bring up, what, 3rd and very, very short. Actually, are we at 3rd and goal? No, 1st and 10. It's 1st and goal. He picked up the first down on that play. So 1st and goal from the 9-yard line for the Hillman.
All right, so now here's the handoff going to Marshall Chapman, continuing to grind his way towards the goal line, reaches for it. Let's see if they give it to him. I think he may be down at the 1. So Marshall Chapman taking it 8 yards down to the 1-yard line. I'm not going to be surprised if they give it right back to him.
Oh, and you're hearing it from the fans below us. The Boo Birds were out there saying, no, he stretched it in, and he is getting really, really good. And as he's going down, again, stretching that ball out, he's got to have really good hand strength to hold on to that ball and stretch as far as he can. To me, it looked like he crossed the plane with that stretch, but hey.
Second down and goal. Handed off once again to Chapman. And Marshall's into the end zone. Touchdown, Hillman. Marshall Chapman for 1 yard over right guard, extending the lead out to 13-7 with 1:38 left here in the first quarter of play. He almost had it on the last one. You got to reward him and give it right back to him. And the plan works pretty much every time for Marshall Chapman. That touchdown brought to you by the Man Cave, 923 Lincoln Way in Auburn. Check them out on Facebook. Thanks to owner Christopher Kirshner for sponsoring Hillman football here on KAHI. Christensen will have the snap. Dakin with the hold. Rhodey in there to attempt the PAT. And the kick is going to go through the left upright. 1:38 left here in the first quarter of play. 14-7 the lead for the Placer Hillman here on KAHI.
You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey, who needs to pass the ball when you rush it 10 times for 89 yards and take 3 minutes and 6 seconds to get into the end zone? That, my friends, is vintage Hillman football.
14-7, Placer with the lead here. Back deep to receive the ball. Sergio Sanchez. And he's joined back there. If I can get a line on that number. Boy, that kid is just at the perfect angle for me not to see him. So let's hope it goes to Sanchez.
It might be Nick Miller.
Either way, Rhodey's ready to go, and it is going to be fielded. Actually, Sanchez let it go for a second. Then he touched his knee down at the 15-yard line, and he mistakenly got up and then was lit up by about 4 Hillman there after the ball was already dead. It'll be first down and 10 from the 15-yard line for Whitney, trailing 14-7, 1:30 left here in the first.
And as we say, when it comes to Hillman football, it's a game of stops. If you can stop the other team, that is, if Placer stops the other team, it's really hard to stop them.
16-yard line, we'll call it here for this opening drive. By the way, we're having a little trouble with the internet stream. If you're listening to us, obviously you've got us here on 104.5 FM and AM 950. We had some problems at the office today with the internet. Not sure if it's the provider or ours. I did everything I can. I unplugged and reset the router. That's all I can do, Dave.
All you can do.
I'm not an engineer.
When in doubt, reboot, and that's what we do. And it just doesn't seem to be coming through. We apologize for that. But try 104.5, try 950 AM. And unless, of course, you're out of state. And I know we got some kids traveling cross country listening as well.
Robert Jones back at the pistol, ready to go. Delayed handoff going over left tackle, and nothing doing there. Castillo in there to blow that play up. Sergio Sanchez able to get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Yeah, Jesus came in, but somebody came in even quicker than he did that knocked him off his axis before Sergio came in. Jesus came in and cleaned it up.
Castillo, 2 tackles last week. More importantly, 1.5 sacks. I love when they give the half sack on Max Preps. I always got to give a shout out to Steve Montoya, who does a great job keeping us up to date on all the Hillman statistics, so we can bring them to you here during the ball game. 1 minute left, 2nd down and 10. Trips up top for the Wildcats. Jones back in the pistol. He's going to take a 3-step drop, now throw it over the middle, and the ball is dropped by number 10, Ian Simpson. Decent coverage on the play as well by the Hillman, led by Jorge Maldonado.
Well, I'd really like to see some size and weight on Simpson. That is a big fella right there. I'm going to guess he's going about 6'2", 6'3", probably pushing 2 bills or better. I watched him in warm-ups, and he was having a little bit of trouble holding on to the ball, and right there is kind of the clue. He did catch the one down on the other end in the corner, but he was out of bounds on the play.
Real quick, Yoakum, Dakin, Castillo, McElroy, your defensive line, Bishop, Laguana, Scott, Garza, the linebackers, Espinal, Wiggum at DBs, Ian Hauser, Ryan Arnell at the safety position. It is 3rd down and 10 as Jones takes another 3-step drop, waiting for the play to develop. Now he's going to be flush from the pocket, scrambles out towards the 20, looking to find some more room to the far side, continue to chug those legs forward out to the 21-yard line.
Great defense out there on the far side.
Nice job by Andrew Garza, Chase Laguana Scott, and Chandler Dakin, as well as Ian House. A whole bunch of Hillman out there.
I think it was Dakin that wrapped him up and pushed him back as he was trying to cut to the far side of the field. Now that's going to bring up a 4th down, and here we go. What we were talking about before. Do you go for it on 4th and 4 right here? Do you try to draw them off, or do you kick the ball away? Or are they going to go into that short position where the quarterback drops back 7 and punts, a la John Elway back in the day?
Or a la Nathan Valencia last week, right, for Pleasant Grove,
exactly.
Kicking the ball. They didn't even have a punter, and they're going to line up to go for it here.
Yeah,
4th down and 4.
Try to go for that hard count here.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going hard count or if he can actually kick. Now he's looking over to the sidelines. They're going to have to use a timeout here, I believe. No, we're actually going to run out of time here in the first quarter of play with the Placer Hillman leading 14-7 over the Whitney Wildcats. It's Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI. 14-7 Placer with the lead as we get this second quarter underway. Flip ends of the field. Whitney will be moving from left to right here. It's 4th down and 4. Once again,
like they're going for
are
it.
lined up to go for it, and we'll see what they do, or if Sam Jones, or Robert Jones, I should say, has the ability to punt. Placer doesn't have anybody back deep.
Now he's going to drop back and kick it.
Yep. And so
nobody back for the Hillman.
Nobody back for the Hillman, though, and Jones is going to kind of get a poocher out there.
Nice.
It's not a bad
He's gonna
kick,
get a good
actually,
roll,
boy.
too.
And it's going to take a nice Whitney bounce inside the 30 and all the way down to the 26-yard line, where Placer will have it. 1st down and 10, leading 14-7 as the second quarter gets underway. The Hillman moving from left to right.
Yeah, but the Placer Hillman got what they wanted, which is a stop. And getting a stop for the Hillman is akin to getting to start a new run in basketball.
So, I mean, the Hillman in good shape, leading 14-7. It's all about getting a few stops here, and they just got the first stop that they're going to need in this game. The offense has been clicking just fine. You can tell that these kids have been together for darn near 3 seasons now, especially when you got a guy like Capra and, of course, the quarterback Michael Stuck making his 3rd year start as the varsity quarterback. Stuckey good last week, had himself 8 of 10 passing for $177 and a touch. Now he's ready to go, and it's going to be a delayed handoff coming around the near side. It's Brad Bishop with some daylight out in front of him, out to the 35 and out to the 40-yard line goes Brad Bishop. That's going to be a gain of 14 yards and a 1st down for the Hillman. Nice hard running there by Brad. Maybe one more step, and he could have had 10 more.
Oh, they fake the dive, they fake the inside handoff, and they come to Bishop on the reverse with a body out in front. There was all kinds of room there. Good pursuit by the defense, but not after Brad slashes him for another 14. If you take a look at the average per carry, it's got to be up right around 10 yards per carry for the Hillman right now.
So now Bishop is going to line up at receiver. Stuck's got 2 backs behind him, Grossman and Chapman. He's going to fake it to both and now take a 5-step drop. Now Michael pressure. A flag comes in late. He guns it out there, and the ball's going to be
almost
nearly intercepted. It went through the fingers of number 17, Dom Spence, but we got a flag back here at the 34-yard line in the backfield.
They got a hold, and they're wondering if they're going to decline it and try to bring up the 2nd and long, or are they going to push him back? Let's get that call for you.
Holding. Number 73 on the offense. Repeat 1st down.
So they are going to go ahead and take that penalty.
They got the guard there, or excuse me, the center
Kyle Christensen.
That's literally the first penalty I can ever remember being called on Kyle. So
it's very rare that you see a penalty called on the Hillman on offense, to tell you the truth. They're few and far between. And as you say, Kyle Christensen, one of the stars of the Stanford camp this year for putting on some weight and playing some great center. Kind of gets things going. Between he and Mike Stuck, there's just a really good symbiotic relationship between the way those two fellas handle the football to get each and every play started.
yeah, they need to walk that ball up. They had it as a 15-yard penalty, and as you know, a hold is only 10. So as we reset here.
Yeah, they did a spot foul from 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
That's why it went back as far as it did.
So ball at the 28-yard line, and it's going to be
Penalty?
a handoff.
What penalty? They got all of that
Straight
back.
ahead. Once again, Hans Grossman grinding his way out to the 41-yard line and, 42-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 13. And as Dave mentioned, the Hillman getting a whole chunk of it back right there, bringing up second down and very manageable.
Yeah, 2nd down and 8. You still have the entire playbook you can use right here. And I'm going to say that it could be some sort of inside handoff this time. Nope.
And now we've got the play
Stoppage
whistle
on the
dead.
field.
A timeout called by Hillman head coach Joey Montoya. We'll take it with them. Placer leading 14-7, 11:04 left here in the second quarter of play. You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills. All right, 11:04 left here in the second quarter. The Hillman able to have a nice big first drive and looking to build on this second drive with a 2nd down and 8 upcoming from their own 42-yard line. It's worked. I mean, Grossman, Bishop, you give it to
Chapman.
the Marshall plan. It's your call. It's all working right now.
Yeah, like I say, you've got 4 or 5 options on every play, plus a few pass options. It's really hard for a defense to figure out where the ball's going.
Grossman and Chapman behind Stuck. Now he's going to hand it off to Brad Bishop going over left guard. And Bishop driving his way for another first down into Wildcat territory. That's going to be a gain of 12 yards there for Brad Bishop and another Hillman first down.
And like I said, you fake the dive, you fake the inside handoff. The next thing you know, Mike Stuck's got the ball on his hip. He puts it out. Brad Bishop comes around the end and picks it up. Bam, off to the races.
Okay, so now we've got Austin Hollitz in there at receiver. Still 2 backs behind Stuck. He's going to hand it off to Marshall Chapman. Hans Grossman, nice block, but Chapman slipped a little bit, tripped up, and taken down at the 44-yard line. So a gain of 3 will bring up 2nd down and 7.
So Marshall Chapman that time almost like it looked like the field gremlins got him. I'm not sure where that foot came from. It might have been the block getting pushed back past him. Might have caught a little ankle, a little foot somewhere along the line. Just didn't look like he got it all the way. Didn't get that foot plant. When he did, kind of slid out from under him. Still not a bad run on a play that could have been busted up a little earlier than that.
2nd down and 7. Here's the snap. And going straight ahead, continuing to push his way forward is Hans Grossman. He's just running with aggression, taking it from the 44-yard line all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They'll call it the 18-yard line. So that'll be a gain of 24 yards there for Grossman.
I'll give you the math on that one.
Yeah, you got it, Dave.
I just go because that's what he was doing, just down the field. Gotta love these fullbacks the last 2 years. Super Mario a year ago, Grossman this year, my goodness.
Howes in at receiver, again, 2 backs behind Stuck. Give it to Grossman. And this
ready
time,
for him that time.
They were ready for him. The lead tackle on that play by Zach Chapman, who was a team leader in tackles as far as returners from last season. And it is going to be no gain.
Also happened out on that one was Matthew Clark as he crashed in from his defensive linebacker spot.
A lot of rotation at receiver here for Joey and company. They bring in Austin Hollitz now out there on the far side. Again, Placer moving from right to left here with a 2nd down and 10 upcoming. And it's going to be a fake to Grossman. Give it to Bishop coming around the near side. Over left tackle. Breaks the tackle. Inside the 20. Inside the 15. Taken down at the 14-yard line.
You're going to mark him at the 13, I think. Nope, he's moving it back out to the 14 now.
Okay. So that'll be a gain of 5 for Bishop, bringing up a very manageable 3rd down and 5 for the Hillman here deep in Wildcats territory.
As that play developed, it looked like they were going to get a little bit more out of it, but credit that Whitney defense for their pursuit and getting past that first blocker and getting the wrap on Brad Bishop before he could get another 5-7.
So 3rd down here for the Hillman. Give it to Marshall over the right side, into daylight and into the end zone. Touchdown, Hillman! Marshall Chapman taking it in with authority, celebrating the end zone with his teammates. A play that we've seen time and time again. It's like the waves parted and all that was waiting was green grass.
Yeah, when you call, when you get a good plan called the Marshall Plan, you go to it as often as you can. Touchdown, Hillman.
That touchdown brought to you by the Man Cave, 923 Lincoln Way. Thanks to owner Christopher Kirshner for sponsoring Hillman football. Here's the hold by Dakin. Kick by Rhodey is down the middle and good. So following the 14-yard touchdown run for Marshall Chapman, Placer extends this lead out to 21-7 over Whitney. 9:17 left in the second quarter of play here on Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI. 9:17 left in the second quarter. Placer extending their lead to 2 touchdowns. It's 21-7. The Hillmen have scored successfully on all 3 drives to start this football game. And looking very good as Rhodey is ready to kick it off. Back deep for the Wildcats are Sanchez. And then
Miller.
That's correct.
It's number 9, right?
And the ball is going to be fielded there by number 9, Miller, taking it out across the 15, 20, 25, 30, and driven out of bounds
Marshall
at the 31-yard line.
Doing it all tonight.
He does a little bit of everything, folks. He scores touchdowns. He gets right back out there on special teams and makes a nice tackle as Whitney will be back out here trailing 21-7. The ball will be at the 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 with the Wildcats moving from left to right.
Last drive, 8 plays, 74 yards, took just 2:41 off the clock, and again, not a pass play in sight. As a matter of fact, they tried one pass for incompletion, but Mike Stuck, other than the first drive when he went 1 out of 2, hasn't really had to put the ball in the air at all tonight.
Well, save those plays for when you need them, you know. Always can set up a play fake if you need it, but if the running game's working, that's the bread and butter of Placer football, and it's working so well as Jones and company are ready to get back out there. 2 receivers to either side. Now he'll motion a receiver from the near side. That's Miller. He'll hand it off to Miller with the blocker in front. Miller coming across the 30 out to the 40, 45, 50, and into Hillman territory goes Miller.
Ryan Arnell just got lit up on that play. And I mean lit up. He came around the end, and he did not see the guard pulling, and he blasted him.
Big 23-yard gain there for Nick Miller, and it's going to be a first down for the Wildcats in Hillman territory at the 45.
I'm feeling pretty good if I'm Nick Miller. 2 carries for 74 yards. He's the one that ripped off the 51-yarder on that first touchdown drive, and that was for 23.
Same look, 2 receivers to either side. Back flank to the left of Jones, who awaits in the pistol for the snap. Here it is. Going to fake it to the back, and now Jones going to take off to the left side. Finds a little bit of room, and moving it inside the 30, and taken out of bounds down at the 24-yard line is Jones.
15-yard gain. Brad Bishop's the one that finally got him out of bounds over there on the sideline.
I think it was a really good fake. I got to give Jones credit there. I almost bid on it. It looked like he was going to Sergio Sanchez or Ramirez, and he just kept going. Sanchez.
Well, he's one of those kind of really good pistol quarterbacks that can put the ball in the gut of the running back and keep it there, and then pull it back out again is what he did.
First down for the Wildcats in Hillman territory at the 30-yard line. And again, Placer ready to go here. We didn't finish setting the defense earlier. Jesse Wiggum was in there playing a little bit of a DB. Also Carson Espinal will see tonight. Ian Howes and Ryan Arnell, who Dave mentioned earlier, is now ready to go on 1st and 10. Jones with the snap, and again he's going to fake it, and now he's going to take it to the far side, and he got hammered on the far side. Nice tackle there by Jorge Maldonado. No gain there, and it'll bring up a 10 yards to go situation here.
Yeah.
Nice tackle.
Good read by Jorge that time. He's sitting there in the defensive backfield. He's watching back into the backfield. He sees that the quarterback pulls it. He knows that there's not going to be a pass on that play, and he came up, sold out, let his guy go, and hoped there was somebody behind him to pick it up, but came up and put a nice lick on Robert Jones that time.
So breaking the huddle here, ready to go on 2nd down and 10. Trips to the near side, single receiver up top, and again Sanchez to the right of Valencia. Check that. He got a new back in there, and we'll get that number in just a moment. As he's going to roll to the near side, and now he's about to hit, and now he shakes it off. Does Jones going back to the far side across the 30, 25 down to the 20, first down and still more going, as he continues to make his way all the way down to the 15-yard line. Let's see if they put him out at the 15 or the 16.
You had to give him a 15-yard gain on that. Boy, 3 guys had shots at him. Garza had a shot at him. He slipped out of that tackle. Maldonado finally got him out. So it was a couple, 3 guys had shots, but there was a little leap at the end that got him that extra 3 or 4 yards. It's a good run that time by the quarterback, Robert Jones, and I think they're seeing something now. If they run that play fake, Jones is looking for room on the outside and all of a sudden finding it. They're going to have to get better containment on him to keep him in check.
It's like you read my mind there. I mean, very strong play fakes there by Jones. sucking in the defense and then able to find his way out to the far side. Same look again, 3 receivers here on the near side. Jones in the pistol, takes the snap, fakes it to Sanchez. Now he's going to look downfield.
Goodbye.
And now he's going to be taken down. Taken down by Dakin and Castillo, both there. Dakin, the lead tackler, and that's going to be a loss of 2 yards. Nice job there by Chandler picking himself up a sack. We'll see if they split that.
They may split
Jesus.
that one, but I think Chandler was the first one in. Jesus came in right there to clean it up, and both of them met right in the middle at the quarterback. Nice play by the Placer defense that time to slow this drive just a bit.
Clock moves inside, 7 minutes left here in a fast-moving first half. Placer leading 21-7. Whitney with the ball, 2nd and 12 at the Hillman 17. 2 receivers to either side. Here's the snap. Fake it to Sanchez again. Now coming to the near side is Jones. He throws it over the middle. The catch is made inside the 10-yard line. Ball hauled in there by Chris Hernandez at the 8-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 9 yards and bring up a manageable 3rd and 3. So number 19, Chris Hernandez there with the catch. Oh, and look at Joey Capra checking in for a little bit of defense here. Moving over there to the defensive tackle position, joined there by Colton McElroy.
Yeah, it's probably in an effort to get some kind of push.
Yeah, and Micah Yoakum in there. I'm shocked we haven't called Yoakum's name yet tonight because we're going to be calling it all season long. That kid can play. All right, so now a new look. 2 backs to the either side of Jones, 1 behind. Now they'll hand it to that delayed back. Number 24 driving ahead, Will Fisher, able to take it down to the 5-yard line.
Ian Howe's the first one in there, kind of low-balled him below the knees and knocked him off of his axis, and then the rest of the Hillman came over to clean it up. A good play by Howe's that time.
So they'll put it down actually at the 4.
So they got him first down, so they got 1st and goal now.
Yes, they do.
And who was that running back?
24, Will Fisher.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, ready to go here. That same look again with 2 backs, 3 backs, I should say, in the backfield. Now it's going to be a delay, and walking into the end zone is Jones for the touchdown. Touchdown, Wildcats. Jones takes it in and makes it 21-13. So a 4-yard touchdown run there for Jones. I like that look from them. I mean, you put the 3 backs back there. The Hillman hadn't seen that the whole drive. They used it the last 3 plays with success. So in there for the kicks, a kid that was booting him in the pregame, Zach Schreiner, will be the kicker for the Wildcats, looking to creep back within a touchdown here. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick is true. So 5:27 left here in the first half, 21-14, Placer with the lead here on Friday Night Football in the Foothills on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Keep along with Maldonado. Schreiner about to kick it off here. Placer leading 21-14, 5:27 left here in the second quarter. And the kick is going to be finally fielded by O'Neal at the 5-yard line. Takes it out across the 10, 15, pushing his way forward across the 20 and out to the 21-yard line. Make that the 23-yard line, where the Hillman will have it first down. Check that, 22-yard line.
Whitney kind of Hillman on that drive. 8 plays, 68 yards, took 3:44 off the clock. Just 1 pass play. Key plays on that drive, a couple 15-yarders by the quarterback, Robert Jones, and, of course, that 23-yard scamper by Nick Miller.
Couple of out-of-town scores. How about Granite Bay trailing our old pals up at DeMonte Ranch of Reno, 14-0 there in the first quarter. Check that at halftime. Folsom leading Jesuit 28-7 in the second quarter in the Battle of the Sac B top 2. No surprise here to see that score, though, Dave. I knew that Folsom was going to be very upset this week.
They were going to bounce back. He turned the ball over 5 times against De La Salle, 4 times in the first quarter, not to mention that touchdown they got taken away on their Nagata, their running back. He was definitely down at the 1-yard line, knee down, ball in hand, but yet the ball came out. They gave it to De La Salle. Probably changed the whole tempo of that game early.
All right, Stuck ready to go. He's going to hand it off to Grossman, going over left guard. Not much doing there for Hans. He's able to pick up 2 yards. Well, they started the drive at the 22, and the referee's out there at the 24. So we'll give Hans a gain of 2, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Hillman.
All right, so Hans Grossman with his 2-yard, just almost a stuff there as the clock continues to roll here.
Colfax leading Woodland 20-0. Bear River blanking El Dorado 33-0 as well. Sacramento High on the road tied at Chico 0-0 in the first. Here's a handoff going to Bishop, and this time the defense there to sniff it out a little bit. And Bishop was able to pick up
maybe a yard.
I'm not sure they even give him 1 on that one. I'd say that's a no-gainer.
I'll be generous.
All right, yes, exactly.
I would say Chaffin's starting to kind of get a feel for this wing tee. It's maybe time to change it up a little bit for Joey and the guys. He's starting to really get a feel for that end around.
3rd down and 8. Grossman behind. Stuck takes a 3-step drop, throws it over the middle. He's got O'Neal there wide open for the first down and more, taking it up to the 35-yard line. So a gain of 11 yards there for Cyrus O'Neal and another Hillman first down.
Best thing about that was the throw by Mikey Stuck that time, as he took his time, waited for him to clear, and then gunned it right to him.
Earlier tonight, Del Oro throttled Oak Grove 58-20. I believe it was an honor bowl game. That's why they had the early start. Handoff going to Grossman over right guard. Hans chugging those legs as he drags the defender with him out there for a gain of 12 and another first down for the Hillmen out to the 47.
So give him a gain of like 12 yards yet again, and that average per carry is still looking pretty good for the Hillmen despite a couple of short yardage gains. But again, when you can mix in a pass play every now and again, you got to keep them honest because they could get burnt.
Stuck takes the snap, fakes it to Grossman, now handed to Wiggum coming around the near side with some room out in the daylight. Inside the 40 down to the 30-yard line goes Jesse Wiggum. That's going to be a gain of 23 yards and another Hillman first down. Well, Wiggum got some game action last week. He actually had 3 carries for 36 yards and a reception, so we're looking to see him in the mix this year.
Yeah, that's the play that Brad Bishop usually runs, but a fresh legs on Wiggum really gave him an extra burst and got past that defense.
Stuck going to the Marshall plan, over right tackle. Marshall driving his way forward and down to the 28-yard line, gain of 2 for the Hillmen. It'll bring up second down and 8 with 3:19 remaining here in the second quarter. Placer leading 21-14 and driving again into Wildcat territory. They've done it at will every drive this game so far, Park.
Yeah, they have not been stopped yet, have the Hillmen.
We expected that out of this offense. They looked very crisp last week in mid-season form at times. This time going to Grossman on the delayed handoff. He pushes his way over center and takes it inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Gain of 4 for Hans will bring up third down and a manageable 3.
Well, that time they looked to go for the reverse. That was what they show. But again, nice inside handoff by Mike Stuck, the master now of the wing tee. I told him this during the banquet. I said, you could run this offense blindfolded at this point. 3 years down the line, you know the steps.
Here's the snap and the handoff again to Grossman. Same play basically over center. And Hans picks up the first down and more inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 yards and another Hillman first down.
Yeah, those Hillmen just doing what they do. They've got that big O-line with Christensen in the middle and the bookend tackles. You throw a couple of big boys in at guard, and my goodness, it's just really hard to stop.
Clock down to 2:17. The fake to Grossman going to Brad Bishop. Nice open field tackle attempt at least, but Bradley's still able to grind his way inside the 15-yard line and down to the 14. So he'll pick up a gain of 4 there, and it'll bring up a second down and 6. Nice
But
job.
You see the difference there between Wiggum and Bishop. Bishop's out there playing both ways, playing linebackers. He came around. He just didn't seem to have the quicks that Wiggum had on the same play.
And now we got
a hold, so that's going to come off.
All right, so they're going to call the hold there on the left tackle, Blake Bachman, and move it back.
So take 4 off the books for Bishop.
Yep.
And where did they call the hold? So it was almost at the line of scrimmage where that hold was.
Right.
They moved it back 10 from the line.
Okay. So you're right.
First and 20.
Yeah, first and 20 here. And now we got movement before the snap.
And that was Lewis Fudge taking off a little early out there on the tight end position, it looked like. So that's going to cost him another 5 yards.
Joey showing a little emotion. Coach Montoya on the sidelines, not happy with the back-to-back penalties, but still getting together with his quarterback. Plenty of confidence here. Cyrus O'Neal checks back in at receiver, so we'll see maybe they have a burner play to him. As Dakin, who was in there at tight end momentarily, checks out. Fudge remains in at tight end. You've got Chapman, and now Grossman's coming out, and Garza's going back into the game along with Chapman and Bishop.
Yeah, a little bit more of that blood on the elbow for him, and they keep just taping that thing up and sending him back out there.
So you've got Bishop and Garza behind. Now it's going to be a handoff to the Marshall plan. Good block out there to the far side, and in fact, they're going to call a hold on that. Evan Robinson got into the game. He was replacing Austin Mater, and I believe he's going to be called for that hold there.
They may not take this one. They've already got him first and 20 back at the 33. Or are they going to march him again? Well, they're going to give him another first down. How about that?
It's okay. Okay, so it was a hold, and the ball has been moved back now to the 43-yard line. So a first and forever for the Hillman. They've got to get all the way down to the 8-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, it looks like they got to go first in Newcastle right here.
Yes, they do. Stuck, ready to go. It's going to be a couple of fakes. Now he's going to drop back, gets hit as he throws the ball, and almost able to bring it in. A good attempt on that play by Ian House, but also really good defense there.
By Jaden Love-Williams.
Yes, Jaden Love-Williams.
Ball hung up a little bit. If that was a bit of a better arc, he might have been able to get out in front of Williams. He had him beat. Good pressure that time on Mike, too. He had to step up and might have even got a little bit of a short arm just because of the pressure.
Absolutely. But you know what I like about that? Still showing the composure, knowing he's going to get blasted on the hit to still make that throw out there, at least make the attempt. Either way, second down and 35 upcoming. We'll see what the Hillman have dialed up. Still just two receivers actually on this play. Going back 5 yards and throwing it over to the near side. A little too much mustard on that play. O'Neal unable to make the catch. Good coverage as well by Dom Spence. And now 3rd and 35 upcoming with $1:25 left in the first half.
I like the way that Mike's stepping back there and putting that ball on a line, though. He threw that where only O'Neal could catch it. O'Neal just didn't come down with it, and a good hit by Spence to break that thing up late.
So 3rd and 35. Very far to go here. House checks in at receiver.
If this was the NFL, it would be a draw play.
Yeah, it certainly would. Or you could just use the nonsensical spot foul on pass interference and just get first downs whenever you need them. Worried about the quality of play this year. We could talk about that another time. Stuck now taking a 7-step drop, feeling the pressure. Roll into the far side. He's going to throw it downfield, and it's going to be intercepted.
And he's down right there. That was a silly play by the defensive back. You let that go, you get the ball up here with another down. Instead, they're going to get it down at the 19.
And we've got some laundry in the backfield. Ryan Vigo made the pick.
Number 60 on the defense.
That'll be a first down.
First down.
There you go. So they rough Mike, and now the Hillman will get a fresh set of downs.
Boy.
So they get the pick, which they shouldn't have done. He should have knocked it down to get the 4th down and long distance. So they go bad on the pick, bad on the roughing the passer. Hillman get the first down. We've still got 1:14. Let's reload with some of the plays we're used to doing on a 1st and 10 and see if we can't get a touchdown to end this half.
Quite a break there for the Hillman.
Huge break for the Hillman. And all because Mike Stuck kept that play alive. Moved up in the pocket, rolled to the outside, waited for the receiver, let it go, and got tagged late.
Mater checks back in for Robinson as the clock does run now under a minute left. 1st and 10 for the Hillman at the 28-yard line. Stuck's going to hand it off to Bishop with Grossman out front to block. And a nice cut there by Bradley inside the 20.
Oh, my goodness.
5, touchdown, Hillman. Brad Bishop using the Grossman block and dances his way into the end zone. Joey Capra lifts him in the air to celebrate, and the Placer Hillman extend the lead to 27-14 with 49 seconds left here. Beautiful blocking setup on that play, and Bradley just gunned it in there.
I'm going to give you a baseball analogy. You make an error, you give a team an extra out. You gave them an extra play. What does it get you? Touchdown, Hillman. Goodness gracious, that was good stuff.
That touchdown brought to you by the Man Cave, 923 Lincoln Way in Auburn. Here's a good snap by Christensen. Dakin with the hold, and Rhodey kicks it through the left upright. Placer out to a 28-14 lead. A huge break on the roughing. The passer penalty converted into a touchdown by Bradley Bishop. It's 28-14 Placer here in the second quarter on KAHI.
9 plays, 78 yards, using 4+ minutes off of the clock, and the Hillman get that coveted score at the end of quarter number 2 to pull to a 2-touchdown lead. Remember, they did not win the flip. Whitney will start the game, or second half with the football. Hillman like it the other way around, but they'll take that extra touchdown thanks to the extra out, so to speak, that the Wildcats gave them.
Zach Rhodey with the boot. And the ball is going to be fielded by Nick Miller at his 10-yard line, coming across the near side, 15-20, able to drive it out near the 21-yard line.
Is that Chandler Dakin back there? No, it was not. I'll tell you who made a great play. Ian Howes again, knifing through, throwing the arm out, hitting him around the calf, and knocking him to the ground to prevent an even further return.
So the ball at the 23-yard line. I believe Whitney has all 3 of their timeouts. Did they use a timeout earlier?
I don't think so.
So
I think Joey used one.
41 seconds here. We'll see what they decide to do, trailing by 2 touchdowns, knowing they'll get the ball to start the second half. Very effective on the last drive, especially when they had that 3-back set with Jones in the pistol. We're probably not going to see a play like that right now. They'll probably go full spread as they've got 3 receivers up top. One here to the near side and back to the right of Jones.
Yeah, do not play prevent defense there. Send those linemen. Get that push on this guy. Do not let him sit back there and get his receivers down the field. They're big and they're quick.
Jones ready to go here with a 3-step drop. Looking over the middle. And the ball is complete to Jaden Love-Williams. No, they did give it to him. Okay, out there at the 34-yard line. So a gain of 11. and a first down for Love Williams and the Wildcats. Love Williams there, number 14.
So that was good for 11?
11 yards. And a timeout now being called by the Whitney Wildcats. Well, coming up at halftime, our producer Tariq Ansari at KAHI Studios will get you updated on all the high school football scores from around the region, also some pro scores. Don't forget Oakland A's baseball tomorrow and Sunday right here on KAHI Radio as the A's are in Minnesota taking on the Twins, and we'll get you a score from that here momentarily. Speaking of scores, just taking a quick look around. Antelope leading Lincoln 21-7 in the third quarter. Oh, and the A's picked up a win in Minnesota tonight, 7-1, shaking off the back-to-back losses.
Indeed. Meantime, it's the Houston Astros 5-0 over the Angels of Anaheim, and Seattle doubling up Arizona right now in Arizona, 6-3 in the top of 7.
The Granite Bay Grizzlies have played, 7.5 quarters of football. They have not scored a touchdown this season. DeMonte Ranch leading 21-0 in the fourth quarter. Don't forget, they lost to Monte Vista 9-3 last week. Definitely not the start that a lot of SFL followers had envisioned. Folsom's extended their lead to 34-7 over Jesuit. And they are just going to keep rocking and rolling. I think that one's going to get real lopsided before it's over because Folsom's upset after last week. Back here, Jones ready to go with 33 seconds. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. 3 receivers up top. Jones with time. Now he's
Nice
flushed
spin
to the far side. Setting up his feet again. Able to gun it out there into Hillman territory. And let's see if he was able to make the catch inbounds.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
are going to call it a reception for number 17, Dom Spence, taking it from the 34 all the way down.
Where are they going to mark it?
The Hillman 37, so that'll be a gain of 29 there.
29.
And a first down
Who'd he hit on that
for
one?
them. That was Dom Spence, the number 17, the wide receiver on the far sideline, catching it and diving out of bounds.
Okay.
Yeah, they're rotating a lot of receivers here tonight, and they've got all their biggest players seem to be receivers. 22 seconds left here now with Jones and company, a first down at 37. Again, a 3-step drop, looking.
The time in the world.
Got a wide open man down there, but no.
Broken
nice
up.
closure there by the Hillman. Good job. That might have been a catch if not for Ryan Arnell getting over there and knocking that down. The pass was intended again for Love Williams.
Yeah, that ball to Love Williams. It was Ball, Love Williams, Arnell, all met at the same time. Popped it right out of his hands. He had it in the midst, but Arnell with a good hit there right at the last possible second to knock that one away. They're giving him entirely too much time to sit back there and pick out those receivers. And as I mentioned, they're not slow. They'll get a break on you, and if they get behind you, he'll get the ball out there. They got to get some pressure. May even want to think about maybe sending a linebacker here.
15 seconds left. 3 receivers to the near side. Jones back in the pistol, single back to his right. Now they'll motion one of the receivers here to the far side, so 2 to either side. Jones takes the snap.
Here's that
Pressure coming, and the Hillmen are able to get him all the way back inside the territory. Chandler Dakin just ringing up Jones. That's probably going to end this half. He took him down all the way back at the 48-yard line. A huge loss of 19 yards. Chandler Dakin, Johnny on the spot. He is having himself a heck of a season.
Oh, Chandler Dakin off the end that time and just didn't bite on anything, and he just made a beeline for the quarterback. He said, I've got you in my sights. I am not going to let you. Target was acquired. Deet, 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 deet.
You'll hear highlights and excellent commentary like that on the KI Coaches Show this Thursday night, 7 o'clock on 104.5 FM when we relive the Hillman game. Here we've got a timeout with 6 seconds left. Dave hates prevent, but in this particular play situation with 1 play left, it's okay, right, Bart?
Yes and no. I want to be making sure I stay with those DBs. Maybe send a safety back to play some center field and chase that ball once it gets in the air. But, hey, put your ears back. You know he's going to throw. Let's see what we can do and get another good push and maybe end this half with a sack.
I wanted to mention something, too. Jorge Maldonado, at least according to my stat sheet, I had no stats for him last week. I'm not even sure that he played, but Espinal was in there a little bit. Maldonado's been playing corner almost exclusively tonight, and it's good to see him out there. He was an impact player last year on D.
Yeah, whenever you get to wear the number 21 at Placer, you know you're a baller.
Absolutely. We all remember who had it last year, at least.
And the year before.
And the year before. Oh, and the year before, too.
Exactly.
Okay, there we go. All right. Shout out to Kerrigan and Owen Scott. Here we go. 3rd down and 10. Ball at their own 48-yard line.
Edge. That's a hold.
Hillman will not.
that flag.
Look like a hold down. The ball is going to be caught
trailer
at the 25-yard line and taking it down to the 20-yard line. So a big gain of 32 yards to end the half for number 19. 32 yards to Chris Hernandez. That'll end the first half of play. Whitney trailing. It's Placer 28, the Whitney Wildcats 14. We'll take a break, head back to the KAHI studios, get you caught up on everything sports related. Then back here with the second half call in 15 minutes. You're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills. Casey and Dave with you here on KAHI.
Hillman students, parents, and alumni, please stand and join the Golden Hillman Marching Band and cheerleaders as they perform the Placer Fight Song.
There's your dad.
All right, well, we're about ready to go here in the second half. As we mentioned, let's reset everything. Placer out to a 28-14 lead. The biggest play late in the first half was Michael Stuck getting roughed on a 3rd and 35, which set up a first down for the Hillman at the 25. Brad Bishop cashed it in. As we get ready to go here in the second half, 70 degrees and clear here in Auburn. Rhodey ready to kick it off and back deep for the Whitney Wildcats once again. Actually, they've made a couple of changes here now. Back deep for the Wildcats. It's Miller. Actually, yeah, Miller there. And then, oh no, they didn't change anything, did they? I fooled myself. Nick Miller and Sergio Sanchez. Here's the kick from Rhodey. Whitney will be moving from left to right. Miller's going to field it at his 4-yard line. Coming out across the 10, 15, and ran into his own guy who tackled House. There's going to be a hold there because literally Ian House got tackled by the return team as he was trying to dive for Mr. Miller.
All right, we'll see what they call this time. Let's crank up the old microphone on the white hat, so to speak. The man with the hat with bleach in it.
Block in the back, 52, Whitney.
All
So
right.
Tyler Shear called for the block in the back. It will push the ball back to the 10-yard line where Whitney will take over on offense, moving from left to right here in the third quarter. Ball on the near hash. Whitney had a couple of nice drives there in the second quarter. We'll see if they go back with that 3-back look at all once they get out a little further. They'll start here, though, kind of in that basic spread. 2 receivers to either side. Jones back in the pistol with the back flank to his left. And we are ready to go here in the second half. They're going to hand it off there to Sanchez. Dances away across the 10 and out towards the 15-yard line. Call it the 14-yard line. Gain of 4 for Sergio Sanchez. 2nd down and 6 upcoming.
Nice defensive play that time for the Hillman. Catching from behind was Andrew Garza. Shed his block, turned around, and just happened to see the back going by, wrapped him and pulled him to the ground.
That kickoff brought to you by Auburn Trophies and More, 1221 Grass Valley Highway and the Fiddler Green Shopping Center. Thanks to owners Ken and Katie Osborne for sponsoring kickoffs all season. Check them out online at auburntrophies.com. Later in the game, after the game, our Mel's Diner player of the game, and we'll tell you more about that in just a bit. Same look for the Wildcats here. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Once again, Jones awaiting the snap. He'll take it. Quick 3-step drop, throws it over the middle, and good defense there.
Flag.
We've got a flag in the backfield as well.
I think we're going to get a late hit.
And Jones is slow getting up. He is slow getting up.
He got popped pretty good on the tail end of that play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 50 on the defense. Automatic, first down.
With targeting. What does that mean in the high school game, I wonder?
Micah Yoakum called there. Yoakum, if you remember last year, came up as a sophomore, a real impact player for this team into the playoffs. And following this penalty, Whitney's going to be in much better shape. I'm not sure about ejection rules as far as targeting goes, but
is Yoakum still on the field is my question.
Yoakum remains in right now. Let's wait and see.
So it may be a one-play warning, and it may be the second time around. Yoakum's wandering around saying, what did I do wrong? Hey, the guy let go of the ball, I hit him.
Yeah. I don't think it was intentional targeting.
Wait, are we playing NFL rules now? Any hit's a bad hit?
Okay, so Espinal in there at corner. Got Howes in at safety. 4-man front with Yoakum, Castillo, McElroy, and Dakin. And Dakin's going to make the tackle here on Jones. Jones able to pick up 1 yard out to the 31-yard line, where it will be 2nd down and 9. Nice tackle there by Chandler, who's had himself a really nice start to the season after only playing in 4 games last year due to injury.
Yeah, and I'm beginning to wonder if that hit by Yoakum wasn't even that big of a hit. He got up rather slowly, looked like he was hurt, and then on the next time around, he runs the ball. Now we got a sideline call up.
Placer, coaches on the field. That's their first.
All right,
so either Joey or Rodardi took a step or two maybe towards the field, and the referees threw the flag with a sideline warning. But of
we
course,
saw that in the JV game, and I think they called it twice, and it ended up with a penalty at one point. As I was here earlier watching the junior varsity play, they fell this afternoon. Their first loss in the last, I'd say, 11 games.
all right, 3 receivers up top, ball on the near hash as Jones awaits the snap. It is 2nd down and 9, and he's going to hand it off, and driving ahead for a couple of yards is Sergio Sanchez. We'll call it 1 yard out to the 32, where it will now be 3rd down and 8. And
it looked like Colton McElroy kind of dove in low on that one and started the tackling. It was kind of a chain reaction domino thing. I think Colton got low, and a couple other guys came and got him high.
And our pal Tarek back at the studio reminding us that Joe Montana, in fact, has 4 championships as a member of the 49ers. Steve Young picked up one of those as well.
Yeah.
And the Niners did not win last time they were in the Super Bowl. So there you go. 2 receivers to either side. And Jones awaits the snap. There is Hillman showing blitz. Now they back up a little bit as Jones looks over to the sideline to reset with the coaches.
Now they're backing out of it.
Yeah, Hillman.
They're taking a long time. They're going to have to get a
timeout. Exactly.
Yeah,
they're going to have to burn one. And they do. So timeout burned here by Whitney with 9:42 left in the 3rd quarter. Placer leading 28-14. Quick break, then back with more here on KAHI.
This is Michael Stuck, quarterback at Placer High, and you're listening to Friday Night Football on the Foothills on KAHI.
All right, so Maldonado in here as the near side corner. You've got Arnell and Howes, the safeties. Bishop out there at linebacker. 4-man front for the Hillman. They will blitz, and they'll send in Garza. Garza in fast pursuit. Now Jones is able to gun it out there. Let's see if they call it a good catch.
I think he caught it.
It is. The ball was caught by
close to that first down.
Dom Spence. They needed 8, and I believe they did pick up all 8 and a first down for the Wildcats as Dom Spence, number 17, able to haul it in. Nice job there of Jones eluding the pressure that was being given to him by Garza.
Yeah, and we were talking at the half. This quarterback Jones reminds us of the kid from Manteca.
Yeah, Gino Campiotti, who I believe is now at Northern Arizona. So checking out is Brad Bishop. In at linebacker now Evan Robinson. 3 receivers to the near side, single receiver up top. Jones remains in the pistol with a bank flat to his right, a back that is. He hands it off to that back. And able to drive it forward for a few yards is Sergio Sanchez. Take it from the 40 up to the 44-yard line. Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 upcoming.
Yeah, and a whole lot of Micah Yoakum grabbed him and threw him to the turf after that short game.
I think Yoakum wanted to make sure we got his name here on the broadcast. When we called it, seemed like every other play during the playoff run last year.
Exactly, but that time he did a good job coming from that defensive end position and just moved inside and wrapped and dropped.
All right, same look once again. Clock showing 8:50 left here.
Showing blitz again.
And the Hillman showing blitz. Now Jones is going to pull it down, try and find some room to the outside. And he does. Able to scamper his way out near midfield. Let's see where they marked him out.
It's either going to be first down or real close to it.
They're going to put him down at the 49-yard line.
So 2nd and 7, and it's now a 3rd and 1. So he picked up 6 on that one.
6 big yards there for Robert Jones, the 6'2", 180-pound senior, who has had some good runs here when they've been able to fake it.
He's showing me a little something tonight. For a team that's, this is their first game of the season, Hillman have already got 1 under their belt. It'll be interesting to see what kind of stamina this Whitney team has late into the 3rd, early 4th quarter.
Now they go back to that look with 2 backs, a back to either side of Jones and a back behind him. This worked successfully earlier. They're going to fake it, now pull it down, throw it to the back, coming out of the backfield into Hillman territory, and more goes number 9, Nick Miller, taking it down to the 36-yard line of the Hillman. That's going to be a big gain of 13 yards and a first down for Whitney.
Yeah, Nick Miller doing a little bit of everything. You know, he had that 51-yard run, a 23-yard run. That's his 2nd reception. He had 1 for none earlier, but that 13-yarder just got him out in the flat, tried to get him out there with a little space, and he did the rest to pick up a nice gainer that time for the Wildcats.
All right, so they will go back to 3 receivers up top. Single receiver, number 10, Simpson here to the near side, and Sanchez remains to the right of Jones. And they will give it to Sanchez, and the Hillmen were ready for it, blowing that play up. Chandler Dakin also joined there by Evan Robinson, and they're going to put him back for a loss of, call it 4 yards back to the 40-yard line.
It's going to be further than that. I think they're going to, where are they going to mark that? At the 40? Yeah, okay.
So a 4-yard loss there for Sanchez. And a good job again. Chandler Dakin just playing out of his mind so far here at the end of the
I'm
season.
watching Chandler Dakin on that end out there, and he's just kind of peering into the backfield. It's almost as if he kind of knows what's coming. He must have watched some good film, because when they lined up that time, he didn't even veer off of the running back. He went right at him knowing he was going to get the football.
2nd down and 14. Jones takes the snap. Now he scrambles to the far side of the block route in front of him. And again, Dakin is there to take him down. And now they're going to throw a penalty flag after the tackle.
They're going to say a hit to the head, which it shouldn't be. The quarterback ducked as he was going for it. And that's why you got a blow to the head, and that's what they're going to call.
So it was a 3-yard sack, but the penalty is going to help out the Wildcats here.
And they'll get a 10-yard. I don't know if they'll give him a first down on that. I don't think that was a very good call. That was an inadvertent shot to the head. I'd pick that up. He didn't get the face mask.
I'd pick it up too. I hope they're talking to each other. We'll find out here in a second.
They're going to have it stand. That penalty's going to stand. We just got to wait to see what it is. It's either a face mask or a shot to the head.
5-yard face mask on the defense, on the tackle. Please reset the clock to 7:45. 7:45.
All right, so it was an inadvertent face mask. I never saw him grab the face mask personally. I thought it was going to be a shot to the head, if anything. But another real good play by Dakin, and it does not result in an automatic first down.
All right, so the ball at the 39-yard line. They need to get it down to the 27 for a first down. 3rd down here for the Wildcats. Jones awaiting the snap. Fake it to Sanchez. Now he's going to throw it over the middle. The ball is caught for first down and more by number 18. Check that, number 19, Chris Hernandez. And he takes it down to the Hillman 15-yard line.
25-yard gain?
Yeah, big 25-yard gain there.
That was a real nice pitch and catch. He stood straight up and gunned that ball in there, and he just got in between the linebackers and the DBs. Spot on pass. Give him credit. Nice ball.
Simpson, the lone receiver, up top, 2 to the near side. Jones takes the snap, and now he's going to give it to his running back going over right tackle. That's number 24, Will Fisher. And Fisher's able to take it down to the 10-yard line, gain of 5 yards there. A couple of Hillmen in on the tackle, and now we've got a lineman very slow to get up. Number 55, Jacoby Carson. I believe he's playing left tackle tonight. He's writhing in pain a little bit down there on the field.
That right leg.
Clutching at his right leg. And the trainers are out there taking a look. We'll take a quick timeout, check everything out here. 28-14, Placer with the lead. 7:13 left here in the 3rd quarter. It's Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI. 2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats at the Hillman 10-yard line, trailing 28-14 with 7:12 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Ian Simpson back in the game.
Yeah, Simpson, the receiver, to the near side.
Don't think they're not going to go to that flag pattern over here on the right.
Here's the snap. Jones with a quick drop, throws it into the end zone. Nice defense there by the Hillman. Ryan Arnell able to break up that pass, which was intended for Hernandez. And without Arnell being Johnny on the spot, that might have been 6.
Yeah, already this drive, 3 out of 4 for Robert Jones. Pass completions of 11, 13, and 25 on the drive. But that does one good thing. That missed pass stops the clock. And you're going to need as much clock as you can to try to get back in, because the Hillmen haven't seen the ball yet in the second half.
Good point, Dave. Yeah, Hillman not used to teams eating up chunks of clock against them. So far, 5 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock as Jones is ready to go. 2 receivers to either side of the formation. And now he'll hand it off to the running back to his right. And moving his way forward once again is number 24, Will Fisher. Although they're not going to really give him much of anything. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Yeah, no gain that time for Fisher as the defense on that right-hand side, our right, your left on the radio, crashing in and stopping him for a short gain. Looked like at the beginning of the play it might have a little something going on, but good pursuit by the Hillmen as they closed in and dropped him.
Well, they're going to move it up to the 9, so we'll give Fisher 1 yard on that play, and it'll bring up 4th down here.
And they're not going to kick this, huh? 4th and 4. Watch for the hard count.
Absolutely.
And also I'm feeling a corner pattern coming here somewhere.
Well,
they've got the size on the outside.
The ball's on the near hash. Plenty of room to the far side with 2 receivers out there. Jones ready to go. Fakes it to Sanchez. Now running to the far side. Throws it into the end zone. Too high. No flags. Hillman will take over on downs. Ball intended for Chris Hernandez. Great coverage there by Ian Howes.
Great defense.
Half the quarter gone by. Doesn't matter. 0 points on the board for the Wildcats. Placer back in business, about to take the offensive side of the ball for the first time tonight.
Yeah, they started that drive with 11:54 on the clock at their own 10 and drove it, 80 yards? only to come up short on a 4th and 4, and then they hand it over to the Hillman. 1st and 10 at their own 10, and 6:01 showing on the clock in the 3rd quarter.
Don't forget, at the end of the game, we'll tell you about our Mel's Diner player of the game. You can bring your ticket stub from the game either tonight or tomorrow. Get 10% off your meal at Mel's, Highway 49 and Luther Road in Auburn. Thank you so much for sponsoring high school football here on KAHI. Stuck and company, ready to go, moving from right to left here in the 3rd quarter.
The Marshall.
And it's going to be the Marshall plan going over right tackle and grinding his
got a
way
late flag
out to the 16-yard line, gain of 6 before the flag.
Let's hold on to that gain of 6 till we see what this flag's going to be.
We'll hear from the referee here
Where it came,
momentarily.
it could be an offensive hold, judging by where the flag came from. Came in from the side, Judge. Let's see what they're going to call.
Holding. Number 25, Splasser.
Yeah.
So Grossman called there.
So you take that 6 away, you get half the distance. Now it's 1st and 15 from the 5.
That it is.
But again, the Hillman will go back to that running game. I do not think they're going to be throwing down here at this end of the field. They'll just do what they do. They've got that big offensive line. It's a 1st down. You still have 4 to get that 15.
Hollis checks in at receiver. You got Chapman in the wing. And now it's going to be a handoff going to Marshall.
Is it Marshall or Grossman?
Let's see here.
Yep.
Yeah, Chapman able to take it out to the 9-yard line. So a gain of 4.
2 things happening here. Yeah, they're going to keep the ball on the ground.
Oh,
You can
hang-
guarantee that.
Hold on here.
Where do they mark that? At the
They're
8?
going to say that no gain. Maybe I got a little lost there on that play. Looks like he had a no gainer there for the Marshall plan. All right, 2nd and 10. Grossman behind Stuck. Give it to Hans. Going over right tackle, or right guard, I should say, and driving his way forward for a few yards.
More than a few.
Tackle made by Zach Chaffin, and takes it out to the 17-yard line.
That's going to be a long 4,
8.
short 3.
Wait. Yeah, we'll call it.
It's going to be a 3rd and 3, right?
Yeah, so we'll call it a nice 4 there. We'll give him 4.
Well, 3rd and 4. Not a whole lot of yardage for the Hillman to pick up here. Let's see what the Whitney defense can come up with. They're looking a little confused, yelling and screaming back and forth. He's trying to figure out where this ball might end up.
Stuck breaks the huddle quickly, ready to go here.
Here's the play they usually
Fake
get
it to
that
Grossman, give it to Chapman.
He ran into
Chapman's
his
gonna
own
be
guy.
wrapped up in the backfield.
Yeah, he ran into his own guy. They got a good push on the outside. It looked like they pushed the guard, Austin Mater, back into the backfield.
Eli
And ran into Marshall Chapman and threw him off.
Yeah, Eli Annis, the lead tackler on that play, and the Hillmen are going to punt it here.
And Brad Bishop should be coming in to kick this thing away.
And this will be the first time we've seen.
Second, he kicked once last week. I think he punted one time, didn't he?
Now
He's
they've
not going
got
to be Brad
Cyrus
Bishop.
O'Neal in there.
Cyrus O'Neal's in there to kick it away. Wow. Dakin's on the short. I just don't see Joey coming up with a fake punt here. That would be crazy. And it's going to all depend on the snap here. Again, we've seen problems snapping on the punts towards the end zone, and there's one.
Boy, that is going to be a high snap, but able to recover
Good
is
kick.
O'Neal. He did play soccer, so he should know how to kick the ball.
Nice kick.
And it's going to take a nice Hillman bounce and
Let it
continue
roll,
to
boys.
roll all the way down to the 33-yard line. So a hefty punt off the leg of the soccer player, Cyrus O'Neal.
20, 30, almost a 40-yard kick, 40-plus yard kick for Cyrus O'Neal. So the Hillman finally gets stopped on the back end of a stop of the Whitney Wildcats. So here we are in the third quarter with 3:34 to go and no scoring. I'm shocked.
I'm shocked too. Typically the fireworks flying here. Obviously this Whitney team came to play tonight. They've got some tough kids, some big athletes. Placer's offense has looked very good, only stalling out on 2 drives. More importantly, their defense got that big stop on 4th down last drive to prevent the Wildcats from even putting 3 or 6 or 7 on the board. As we're ready to go again here with 3 receivers on the near side. Jones, the quarterback, Robert Jones there in the pistol with Sanchez flanked to his left. Here's the snap. 3-step drop. Throws it, and that's a tough one there. Caught by Nick Miller.
Yeah, and that's a loss on
And-
the play.
Yeah, he is. It looks like they're going to mark him back to the 32-yard line. So a loss of 1 there. Chase Laguana
There's
Scott
Chase Laguana
getting
Scott.
in on the tackle. That's what we like to see. The team leader last year in tackles, and Laguana Scott to start the season last week, 5 tackles, 1 solo, 4 assists. So there's his name. We expected to hear from him, and we'll hear from him time and time again this year.
That was like a little bubble screen to the back out of the backfield. Hillman read that real well, especially Laguana Scott, who just dropped him in his tracks. 3
receivers to the far side here. Here's the snap. Again, kind of standing in place and taking a shot downfield for Simpson.
Nope.
And he's going to overthrow it. Good coverage down there as well.
Jorge Maldonado that time.
Yeah,
On the
Maldonado.
coverage. And so, I think what he did is he saw the shorter Maldonado on the very big Simpson. Simpson's got good wheels for a man his size, and Maldonado was running with him step for step as he went up for the ball. At least Maldonado didn't face guard him. He just let the play out. It was far enough to the sideline. It was not going to be caught.
So 3rd and long upcoming, 3rd down and 12, in fact, for the Whitney Wildcats here, led by Robert Jones at quarterback.
Yeah, their money on plays like this seems to be going to the middle of the field over the linebackers in front of the DBs. We'll see what he does this time. We've got a timeout on the field, though.
All right, so.
Timeout. Classes.
Wow. So Joey burns a timeout here. Hey, again, thanks to our great sponsors, including Robinson Sand and Gravel, Keith Thomas State Farm Insurance, River Valley Community Bank, and Auburn Ford, along with our friends at Mackey Heating and Air, the Newcastle Area Business Association, United States Air Force, Matt Spokely for Auburn City Council, and don't forget, Nels Diner Player of the Game at the end of the game, 10% off. Take your game ticket stub in tonight or tomorrow, get 10% off at Nels on Highway 49 and Luther Road. I'm Jonesin for the Bacon Blue, my friend. Haven't had one in a while. We're going to have to get up there.
Now, I will tell you this. Our friends at Food Jets brought us out some food. It's a new delivery service here in Auburn. I was pleasantly surprised to open it up to about 24 wings from Mel's. Huge, giant drums and wings.
Oh, you're killing me.
And a thing of onion rings. And I'm telling you, the Food Jets people know what they're doing. I did want to give them a quick shout out, Darren McAdams and Dina Brazil, because that food, I'm telling you, it squirted the grease out. It was hot.
Piping hot.
Piping hot the way you want
Nice.
it.
Way to go. I like that Food Jet idea. And they don't mean food, jet like
Quick.
they're going to get it to you.
Quick score update. Antelope and Lincoln locked in a good one in Lincoln, 27-21. Titans with the lead in the 4th quarter. We'll get you some more scores here in just a bit. Right now, though, 3rd and 12 upcoming for Jones and the Wildcats. 3 receivers up top. He takes a quick 3-step drop, looks over the middle, and overthrew his receiver.
He was going for Miller again that time, and Miller looked up, and the ball was already past him.
So I'm thinking, Dave, your standard thought here as a football fan is with 4th and 12 at your own 32,
kick the ball
you're going to
away.
kick the ball away in a 2-score game.
And actually, they're substituting out looking like they're actually going to bring the punter in, and that's what they're going to do.
Well, that's got to excite Jorge Maldonado, who's going to get a chance to be back there to possibly return this kick. Joined
Chandler
back
Dakin
there
as the up man.
by Dakin, yes. Boy, Dakin's
He's
long.
got a little bit of everything. He and Marshall Chapman are all over the field tonight.
He's a long one, too. He's got to be 6'2", and he's a speedster, also an excellent pitcher here for
Get
the
that guy
Placer
off
baseball
before
team.
the snap. Good job.
Well,
Nice
good
hustle.
job of Robinson scrambling off the field to make sure the Hillman didn't have 12 on. Here comes the kick. And it's going to go high into the Auburn Knights.
Get out of the
Short
way.
one,
Get
though.
out of the way.
Placer will move away from the ball, and they'll have it in really good field position here to start this drive at their own 44-yard line with 2:44 left here in the 3rd quarter. Hillman leading 28-14, their second opportunity here of the second half.
Well, after a first half in which they scored on every single possession, they came out a little cold here to start the 3rd and did not score, but they'll get another chance here as we get underway, and they've got that ball on their own, where is that ball, 44-yard line?
Correct. On the far hash, Placer moving from right to left here. Stuck and company break the huddle, ready to go.
Excellent field position.
Now here comes the reverse, coming back to the near side is Wiggum, and Wiggum pushes it out to the 49-yard line. So a gain of 5 by Jesse Wiggum will bring up 2nd down and 5. As we mentioned, Wiggum got some action in the second half last week. 3 carries, 36 yards, and a reception.
Well, you get 3 for 36, they're going to give you the ball again.
Absolutely.
And he's got some good quicks as he comes off of those blocks. He really does have a nice burst getting through the line of scrimmage. That time he took the inside route rather than carrying it to the outside. But again, very, very good ball carrying by Jesse Wiggum.
2nd down and 5. Hollich checks in at receiver. 2 backs behind Stuck. Now motion Chapman from the wing. They're going to hand it off to Grossman going over right guard. This is where he gets dangerous. It's the 3rd quarter. You're tired, and he is not. He's going to pick himself up 8 big yards and a first down for the Hillman. The ball down at the 43-yard line of the Wildcats. And Dave, we're gonna look for this throughout the season. But when you've got a 6'3", 215-pound plus frame coming at you, play after play after play, whether he's blocking or getting the ball, it's tough.
Yeah, and when you've got a team with a game under their belt already, and a team this is their first game of the season, it could be tough late in this ball game.
Stuck with a 3-step drop, looking here to the near side, guns it out there. Wiggum's got it at the 40, 35, down to the 30, continue to chug those legs inside the 25, and down to the 23-yard line goes Jesse Wiggum. That's going to be a gain of 22 yards and a first down for the Hillman. So 1 reception last week, and number 7's got himself 22 big ones here this week.
All right, so Jesse Wiggum, one of those guys that just seems to be another Hillman. They step him up, they find him somewhere, and another jewel for Joey's backfield.
Stuck now is going to fake it to Chapman and give it to Maldonado this time. Coming
Oh,
across.
Jorge!
Jorge, 25, 20, 10, 5, and driven out of bounds down at the 2-yard line.
Where's the late flag for
Looked like
that face
it
mask?
looked like there was a face mask that the referees didn't call. In fact, they're going to mark him down at the 4-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 19 for Jorge Maldonado and a first and
carry
goal.
of the night for Jorge. I don't even have him on the offensive side tonight.
Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't play last week because we certainly would have called him at least on defense.
What'd you call him?
21 on
21.
that one.
Nice going, Jorge.
Yeah, good hard running there by Jorge. And the Hillman looking to extend this out to a 3-touchdown lead and really kind of apply the pressure heavily to the Wildcats here as the ball is on the near hash inside the 5-yard line at the 4.
It's that fresh set of downs stopping the clock.
You've got Grossman lined up behind Stuck. Give it to Hans, going over center and into the end zone. Touchdown, Hillman. Hans Grossman, 4 yards over Christensen and in. Placer extending this lead out to 34-14. The Gold Mine loves it. The huge crowd out here tonight loves it. And I'm telling you, that kid can wear you down. He did it right there.
Yeah, Hans Grossman again, just, taking that full back right off to the inside between the center and the guard. A little bit of a hesitation I noticed that time, and then he just said, I'm going to hesitate, I'm going to wait for you to clear, and then I'm going to walk it in.
Christensen will have the snap. Dakin with the hold. Rhodey with the attempt. And the left-footed kicker puts it up and through. So 35-14, Placer pushing it out to a 3-touchdown lead here on Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI.
This is Kyle Christensen, class of 2020, center and long snapper, and you're listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI.
By the way, 5 plays, 56 yards, a minute 27 on that drive, capped by the 4-yard Hans Grossman run.
All right, so back deep once again. You've got Sergio Sanchez. And he's
that
joined back
pesky
there.
little guy.
Yeah, by Nick Miller. Here's the kick by Rhodey, end over end. It's going to be fielded by Miller at the 14-yard line, coming out across the 15 out to the 20 and driving his way down to the 25-yard line.
Was that Chandler Dakin again?
Maldonado was there and Marshall Chapman in on those two tackles.
I thought I saw Chandler Dakin getting up off the bottom of that, Bobby. You're right, it's Chapman. That 6, the 0 that he wears on his 10 sometimes gets squoze in, and it looks like a 6.
Well, he doesn't look like the same Marshall from last year. I mean, it's still the same laid-back attitude, but he's gotten big. I mean, adding muscle onto that already speedy, quick frame, certainly going to make a difference. I mentioned he was up for the Sac B Prep Player of the Week.
Didn't he win it?
In Week 1, did he?
I don't know. He did win it. Yes,
You're
he
the Twitter
did.
file, so
yeah,
there you go.
Did it.
Sac B Player of the Week, Marshall
He
Chapman.
beat out a Del Oro guy. Placer Del Oro, we get the win.
Somebody talk to Marshall and tell him to get on Twitter so we can start tagging him in our app mentions then. We did put out the call to vote, and if you would, give us a follow at KAHI Sports if you enjoy what you're hearing. Jones and company ready to go now, down by 3 touchdowns with a minute 10 left here in the third quarter. 2 receivers to either side. Now he's going to hand it off to the running back, and no wiggle room there. Yoakum, Scott, McElroy, all in on the tackle. 1 yard gain there.
Laguna Scott at the bottom of that pile. Yeah.
So a gain of 1 for number 21, Sergio Sanchez. 2nd down and 9 upcoming.
So you were wondering about Chase. Now all of a sudden Chase says, well, it's my time now. We're late into the third quarter. Y'all are tired. I'm not.
He's not tired. He's got an engine. He can go. Certainly a big reason why Placer made it all the way to the state championship game last year. And looking to have another big season, starting off very well here at home at Lefevre. All right, so once again, now we got 3 receivers up top. Looked like a little bit of motion before the snap. Either way, it goes over the middle, and unable to hold on to the ball is number 19, Chris Hernandez. Ball falls to the ground.
Yeah, good pass that time. Put it right where only Hernandez could catch it. He just failed to hold on as he tumbled to the ground. The ball came loose.
And Chase Laguana Scott right there on the coverage. So
there you go.
Getting involved here in this second half. Like, I like to hear my name over the loudspeaker, and we like to call it here on the radio.
Well, and it is that time of the game. And as I mentioned a little earlier, you don't know what kind of stamina these Whitney kids have. They've only been practicing up to this point against each other, maybe a few scrimmages. They haven't been in a complete game at game speed. And I think the conditioning of the Hillman is starting to show a little bit here late in quarter number 3.
3rd down and 9 upcoming from the 26-yard line. 3 receivers up top. Now he's going to throw it to the single receiver here on the near side.
Nice
and
defense.
Drops. Good job.
Guess who?
By Jorge Maldonado. The ball intended for Jaden Love Williams, and because of Maldonado's hit, that ball fell to the turf.
I like the way he hooked the arm around for the tackle, reached in and knocked the ball out of his hands, forcing a 4th down. And it may be time for the Wildcats to think about maybe going for one of these fourths, only in that they need points. They cannot afford to kick the ball to Placer and have the Hillman drive it down their throats again and go up 42-14. So I think they're going for it here.
4th down and 9 from their own 26-yard line. Doom if it doesn't work, but we'll see what they have in store. 2 receivers to either side, and we'll see if Jones ends up kicking it or decides. They look like they're in full go here. And now they check the sideline, and he's going to move back into the punt mode. The Hillman won't have a receiver back to get it, but should still have decent field position depending on what kind of push they can get. And it's going to be a squibber end over end.
Kick.
And it ends up being a good kick and a fortuitous bounce down to the 32-yard line.
And that title is checked up right around the 32. So another stop.
That looked like one you put out there on the greens, I think.
If I could get it to check up like that, I'd play more.
Absolutely.
Mine would hit like that and it'd skip off into the OB, or maybe end up in a sand trap. I'm not keen on the beach at the golf course.
A quick shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Truck Smart, the United States Air Force, Mackey Heating and Air, Auburn Ford, Keith Thomas State Farm Insurance, and Robinson Sand and Gravel. Shout out to Betty and the folks over at
Strictly Toyotas. Betty, thank you so much for your kindness to the KAHI broadcasters and saving us a place to park every week at these packed stadium games where there's parking at a premium.
2 receivers in. Call the presses here for the Hillman, and it's going to be a run straight ahead.
Well, that's what you do when there's 3 seconds left in the quarter.
Absolutely.
You give it to Hans.
So Grossman able to grind out 3 yards, and that'll end the 3rd quarter of play. Placer in control here, up 3 touchdowns, and with the ball, 35-14, 4th quarter upcoming. It's Casey and Dave with you here on Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI.
Marshall.
Marshall Chapman tripped up.
First down.
Still gets to the 44-yard line.
Chapman starting off the 4th quarter here with a 9-yard gain, taking it up to the 44-yard line.
They gave him 10. They gave him the first down.
Oh, a full 10 then for the Marshall plan. Welcome back here to Lefevre Stadium. Casey Freelove, Dave Rosenthal with you here in the 4th quarter. Placer with a 21-point lead and another first down here, moving from left to right. Ball on the near hash, 2 backs behind Stuck. And they're going to hand it off to Grossman coming up to the 48-yard line. So he's able to pick up 4 and bring up a 2nd down and 6. This is what we've been looking to see in crunch time. The starters getting to play deeper into the game. I like this strategy. Coach knows this one's not over just yet. I'd like to get one more on the board and extend that cushion to 4.
And the way to do that best is just keep pounding the middle of that defensive line. These kids are wearing out. Hands on hips all of a sudden. A little gasping going on out there late in this ball game.
Fake it to Grossman, coming to Marshall Chapman over right guard. Chapman upended there at midfield. Ryan Vigo with the tackle. But Marshall able to get 2 yards.
I'm going to say that the referee on this side, his knee did not touch. He was riding over the body of that tackler, but yet they called him down.
You're right. He was still driving, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was still driving. She called him down for some reason.
Well, early season for the players, early season for the referees. I've been pretty happy with the officiating here tonight. Happier than last week, I suppose. But either way, ready to go here now. 3rd down and 5 for the Hillman. Driving straight ahead for the first down and more is Hans Grossman. He's big, and he's got himself a gain down to the 42-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 8 yards and another Hillman first down. Sanchez on the tackle.
Wow.
What do we got yardage-wise here for
109 and 4 is 13, 16, 20, $128. On 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 carries for $128. Wow. Chapman went over 100 in the first half, and he's, only had 4 touches in the second half.
First down and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now a delayed handoff coming to Marshall across the near side. 40 and down near the 35-yard line. Let's see where they marked him out.
It's going to be like a 9-yard pickup for Marshall on that one.
That's what it looks like. Yep, 9 yards. A very manageable 2nd and short here for the Hillman.
Love the way that'll open up the playbook. Maybe? No, don't go to the air. Just keep it on the ground. And why is the clock not running?
He went out of bounds.
Okay.
Now, Lewis Fudge hasn't caught a ball tonight, so we'll see if
they haven't
do
even
have pass
targeted
plays.
him.
They haven't.
Tonight.
No, not once. Stuck with Grossman and Chapman behind him. Give it to Hans, going over center, and Hans Grossman into daylight and into the end zone 35-yard scamper for Hans Grossman. Touchdown, Hillman. Placer extends the lead to 41-14. That is exactly what we predicted would be happening in second halves this season, and you see it exhibited there in such a pretty fashion by Hans Grossman, 35 yards to pay dirt.
Wow, Hans just burst through the hole and there was nobody there. I'm thinking they backed off. I don't want those knees in my face again. I don't want this guy's helmet in my chest again. I'm done. I'm moving out of the way. I'm going to let him have his 6.
That touchdown brought to you by the Man Cave, 923 Lincoln Way in Auburn. Check them out on Facebook. Everything you need, sports, pop culture, memorabilia. If it fits your Man Cave, you'll find it at the Man Cave. Good snap, good hold, and the kick splits the uprights. 42-14, Placer with the lead. 9:55 left here in the fourth quarter. It's Friday Night Football in the Foothills on KAHI. Welcome back. Casey and Dave with you here. Placer extending the lead to 42-14 with 9:55 left here in the second half. Don't forget, you can hear these Hillman highlights and interview with Coach Montoya and the players every Thursday night, 7 p.m. on KAHI Radio. We call it the KAHI Coaches Show. We also take a look at the Sac Joaquin section. Thursdays at 5:30 on the KAHI Afternoon News. Thursdays on the Hill, where we get to know this varsity team who has a 42-14 lead here with just about 2 minutes and 5 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. This ball's going to now bounce at the 10.
Oh, he touched it.
It got past Sanchez. No, he did touch it, though, yeah.
He touched it.
Sanchez moved away from the ball, actually hit his finger, and I think they're going to get it at the 10-yard line once they finally set
it. To the 11 is where he was like set, and he says where he touched it was at the 11. I don't think that that's where the ball is down because he can touch it and push it up. I think he touched it and it rolled out even further back than that. That should be at the 9 or the 8.
Touch the ball on the 12-yard line.
I think they just reiterated what you said, though.
So let me say this. So he touches the ball at the 12-yard line. A Placer player grabs that ball. It becomes our ball. Why is the ball that he touched called down there and not at the 8? Question.
See, you're always giving me mental notes for Coach this week. Another one I'll ask him about here.
Thank you.
So
Firing minds.
Whitney with the ball, moving from right to left here. Ball on the near hash, 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. 2 receivers to either side. Actually, 3 receivers on the far side. Now they'll motion the slot receiver, and Jones is going to pull it down and run it himself out to the 16-yard line. Laguana Scott in on the tackle, also joined there by Wiggum.
Gain of 4 that time?
4 yards on the play.
Yep.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Yep, 2nd down and 6 upcoming, ball at the 16-yard line.
I'm feeling a little better about stats this week. I feel like I'm more in my groove now.
Game 2.
Yeah.
You know,
by the time
celebrating
league starts, we'll be happening.
Absolutely. 3 receivers up top, 2 to the near side. Pressure, and the ball falls to the ground. The ball was broken up by Brad Bishop, and it was intended by Chris Hernandez.
So the clock keeps stopping with these incompletions.
3rd down and 6.
And another stop for the Hillman here, and smelling burger.
Oh, you think would they go for 2, you think?
No, they wouldn't go for 2 to get the burger, but I mean, come on, 9 minutes left, and this Hillman offense has no stop in it.
Ball in the near hash, 3 receivers to the far side, and now we've got a whistle blown.
Timeout. Whitney.
Whitney takes a timeout, trailing 42-14, 9:11 left here in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. You're listening to the voice of the Foothills. 9:11 left here in the fourth quarter. Placer leading 42-14 over the Sierra Foothill League-bound Whitney Wildcats, led here by Robert Jones. And Jones is ready to go, takes the snap from the pistol, and he's going to be hit through the ball. He got walloped.
Boy, did he get walloped. Who whacked him that time? Is that a 7'4" right there? Is that the biggest guy on the field that just landed on him? Was that Joey Capra?
That's a 54. We've not called yet. Michael Callis. I was told he'd be a player to watch.
Michael Callis is a big man, 6'2", 240, and all 240 landed on Robert Jones that time.
Just a junior, seeing his first action of the season as far as we could tell.
Wow. He stepped up and got clonked.
Yeah, they got him playing right defensive tackle. Now, Garza almost jumped. That was due to the cadence of Jones, who now shifts the formation.
He's going to kick it away.
Yep, he is going to kick it here on 4th and 6, and it's going to be a squibber, but it will take a nice bounce for Whitney.
Cyrus back in punt formation for the Hillman this time.
And Nick Miller back there to receive the kick. Cyrus doing kind of that rugby style, moving over to his right a little bit before he kicks it high into the Auburn Knight. It bounces at the 35-yard line, and it's touched down by the Hillman at the 36.
That looked like a gap wedge that time. Just kind of went up there and just a nice little touch, hit the green. Didn't even back up, just kind of stuck it.
Well, from what coaches told us on air, O'Neal has a chance to play soccer at the collegiate level. So, you know, he probably said as part of his deal, look, I not only want to play receiver because I'm fast, but I got to be able to get out there and kick it a little bit.
Oh, and I'm guessing he's probably a forward or maybe a mid-backer on the soccer field. I'm not sure, but, you know, he's a bigger kid. For a soccer player, he'd be considered, you know, above average size, I would think. 2:30 to go in this one.
Yeah, 6'1", $180.
And they're still sending that first string out. You know, and I don't blame the coaches for Whitney for this. They need to get reps in for their first team. They're going into a league like they've never seen before, and that's just a few weeks down the road.
Okay, so Jones throwing it out here, the wide open receiver in Hillman territory, caught by number 4, Ryan Vigo. Taking it from their own 35 down to the Hillman. Let's see where they mark this down.
Looks like it's going to be at the 37 yard.
So a 27-yard pickup there and a first down with 2:22 left here. Whitney trailing 42-20 and moving fast as Jones is back ready in the pistol. 3 receivers up top, single back to his left, single receiver to the near side, and he'll hand it off to Sanchez going over the right side. Sanchez able to pick up a few yards. We'll call it a gain of 3 before he is
Ryan
tackled.
Arnell in on that tackle. Looked like 8 came in pretty nicely.
Good to see some fresh faces here. Arnell gets playing time with the first team and the second team from what I've been able to kind of take in the last 2 weeks. But
reps is reps.
Reps matter.
Yep.
Especially late in the season. All right. Split receivers to either side. Jones ready at the 40-yard line. Takes the snap, shuffling his feet there in place, and now throwing it over to the right side. Incomplete, too much mustard. Good coverage. Well, Zarin Fuller down there in coverage. And the ball soared over the head of number 19, Chris Hernandez.
You know, I really do like the way that Jones sets up back there. He takes a look. He went through all his progressions on that one. Now, mind you, it's not the number 1 defense, so they're giving him a little time to stand back there and take his looks around to see who's open and try to make his progressions. But that's going to help him down the line as this Whitney Wildcat team will continue their season. I see good things ahead for this squad.
Yeah, I mean, new coach, a lot of new players. And a new league,
And they're fortunate enough to have a quarterback that can actually run this pistol, can throw the ball down the field. And he's a big kid, too, so he can see over the line for the most part.
Well, Jones with the 3-step drop.
Stepping up.
And now he's got some turf in front of him. He's going to pull it down and take it to the 30, down to the 25, and out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So a gain of 14 for Robert Jones and a first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, chased out over there by Andy Alvarez. What do you pick up on that?
14 yards on that game.
Sir. Not really, that into the stats facilities in the game. Basically what they're doing is padding their stat book at this point.
Yeah, maybe look a little prettier on paper, too, if you could get it to 48 or 42-28.
Yeah, 27-28 if you go for the 2. This game turned out much like the game a week ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't decided until later into the third quarter, early fourth.
Here's Jones rolling to his right, throws it over the middle. He's got the receiver who is going to be stopped just shy of the end zone, but still nonetheless.
Big number 10, Ian Simpson.
Yeah, Ian Simpson with a 21-yard gain, and first and goal to go here for Whitney as the clock is at 1:19 left. So they are trying to get that last score here. You can hear the gold mine come alive with the Get Loud sign. Good crowd out here tonight. We love seeing that here at Lefebvre.
Nice. I'm waiting for the big smoke to come up.
Double slot look to either side, handed off to Sanchez, driving straight ahead and into the end zone. Touchdown, Whitney Wildcats. That is going to be a 1-yard touchdown from Sergio Sanchez to make it 42-21. to 26. We'll see if they end up going for 2 here or go for the kick.
A 70-yard drive that time for the Wildcats. Took some time off the clock. I actually didn't write down when that drive started. We're down to $1.05. Hillman should be able to get this thing and probably go right into the victory formation. So it's going to look interesting. You know, teams are going to look at this score and say, oh, they only beat them 42-26. Well, no.
Yeah, exactly. They are going to go for 2. Again, the double slot look to either side. Sanchez to the right of Jones. Takes the snap. He's going to pull it down himself and push his way towards
I think they stopped him short.
Goal line. And the far side referee's got his arms in the air. They will call it a 2-point conversion.
I could swear to you his knees
Robert
went down
Jones.
at the 1-yard line.
42-28 the score with 1 minute 1 second left here in the fourth quarter. Now, Dave, teams will look at the score and think, oh, well, that was a pretty darn competitive game. I kind of like that, actually. I don't mind if it looks like it's closer than it was, because we sat here and watched the Hillman basically, you know, I'm not saying completely have their way, but certainly do what they came here to do tonight in terms of their 3 big backs getting big yards on the night as they intended. Mike Stuck not needing to throw the ball at all, so he didn't, and they ran it, and it worked.
Well, 4 consecutive possessions in the first half to get 28 points on the board to go up 28-14 at the half. A couple holds by each side. Hillman then score again on 2 consecutive possessions into the fourth, and that was basically the ball game. It was 42-14 at one point.
Yes, it was.
And, you know, they've tacked on a couple late touchdowns against the Placer Hillman's future varsity players, let's call them. They're varsity players now. They'll be varsity starters in a year or 2. But right now, they're just riding the wave that continued from last year, and you'd expect this from Placer, returning 17 of the 22 kids that took them to the NorCal championship and 3 points away from a state championship just a year ago.
All right, so Whitney lined up honestly, if you will. Not looking like they're going to go for the onside kick. They probably are going to squib it, though, I'd assume. And he's going to pop it up there, and it will be fielded at the 20-yard line by Maldonado.
Hillman got 57 seconds to run off the clock right now. And it should be victory formation. Let's see who Joey's going to send out there to get into that formation. So a couple 3 drives by the reserves, netting not a whole lot, just a couple punts, but taking a little bit of time off the clock. Mike Stuck back in there. How about that?
Okay. Well, I'm glad that he didn't leave his helmet on the sideline. I mean, they definitely want to grind out these last 56 seconds. I think Whitney only has 1 timeout left, so pretty much victory formation time here.
That's what they're in right now. Is Mike going to take a couple steps back before he downs this one? Nope, he's just going to go right to the knees. Whitney going to call this timeout? Let's hope not. No, I do not think they will. Time for some handshakes all around.
Well, Part, let's start talking player of the game, and I think we're going to look to the defense tonight and give it to number 16, Chandler Dakin. Had himself quite a game, called his name multiple times, going to end up with 6+ tackles, hard hits, even on plays that he wasn't the primary tackler, getting in there, helping out his pals along the line in the form of Castillo. We're really pleased to see Chandler back out here playing healthy after an injury-shortened 2017 campaign.
No doubt about it. I love the way that he just really took over into that third quarter and was eyeballing the backfield when they needed the stops. In that critical third quarter situation, Chandler Dakin was the guy, and he's our Mel's Diner player of the game. Don't forget, take that ticket stub tonight or tomorrow. You'll get 10% off your meal at Mel's, Highway 49 and Luther Road. And again, congratulations to Chandler Dakin, the KAHI player of the game.
That's the final. Placer Hillman 42, Whitney Wildcats 28. The final here from Lefevre, a successful home opener here to kick off the 2018 campaign. For those of you that are listening on the radio, give our apologies to the internet streamers around the world. We had an issue at the station today, but don't forget, we post every single game all season long on our website, KAHI.com. I'll work with my boss to see if we can't get that up tomorrow for you folks, if not at the very latest Sunday, and I can assure you, after Dave and I have a chance to make a phone call or two, we will get this resolved in time for the big matchup against Bishop Manogue next week. 3 Hillman players, 2 over 100 yards, another one darn near 100.
Yeah.
A successful venture here for Placer as they come over to salute the gold mine and the home crowd here at Lefevre. 42-28, your final here from Lefevre. Real quick before we go, I want to welcome a new member to our staff, Thaddeus Tosti, Devon's pop from a couple years back. He's down on the field taking really professional.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, professional
Good
quality
stuff.
photos for us. You'll be able to see those at KAHI Sports on Twitter. And as soon as I get back from vacation next week, we will be having a whole Placer section on the KAHI website featuring game write-ups and, of course, images from tonight's contest. Let's play a little alma mater here before we head out, Dave. All right, so there it is. The game is over, 42-28 here, the final from the Fever. We're going to send it back to Tariq Ansari in the studio. He's going to get you caught up on scores from around the region as far as high school football goes, Major League Baseball. Heck, he might even talk a little preseason NFL. The board is yours, Tariq. We'll give it to you. But before we go, for our photographer, Thaddeus Toski, my broadcast partner, Dave Rosenthal, I'm Casey Freelove. Once again, our final score from the Fever, Placer Hillman 42, Whitney Wildcats 28. You've been listening to Friday Night Football in the Foothills on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5, AM 950, KAHI.com, and streaming all over the world